Hello, hello. Will the game please display? Thank you very much. Welcome everybody to the last stream of Cats Organised Neatly. So I played this game a little bit off stream because it turns out this is actually a great game to play if you want to if this is a great game to play like in the background while you're watching a video or something. It just gives you something to I guess occupy your brain with while you're watching something that you don't need to focus on an awful lot. So I got all the way to level 71 is where I'm currently at. As you can see, I'm on chapter 8, so this is the final chapter of the game. So I have 10 levels to clear until I am done with the game. So I'm going to be clearing the final 10 levels of the game today. If all goes according to plan. If I don't manage to clear those 10 levels of the game, well then I guess the stream will just never end, will it? And yeah, in the meantime, I've got, I had the thought of maybe while I'm streaming I could answer some like, icebreaker questions or something. Because again, I found myself enjoying this game most when I was doing something else in the background, mostly watching something that, you know, I could watch kind of absent-mindedly. But then, how do I do that on stream? Do I play music that's probably copyrighted? No, that's a terrible idea. Do I... You know, what do I do? And I feel like my solution isn't great. Like, it takes up a lot of... I feel like it takes up a lot of brain power. And so both my, like, question answering will be scuffed as well as my gameplay. Because I feel like it uses maybe a similar part of the brain, or maybe I'm making that up, but I just get a feeling it's not going to work super well, but hey, only one way to know for sure. Also let me reset this, because that wasn't going very well. And sometimes it's nice to just reset the whole thing. And you know, start with a blank slate. Anyway, I googled like icebreaker questions, and I found this list that claims to be the what is it? The only list of icebreaker questions you will ever need. And under there are a lot of like generic things. There are a lot of icebreakers you're supposed to use for work or around co-workers. But then there's also a category of funny icebreaker questions, and I'm all for funny. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something entertaining to entertain you while this game just sort of happens in the background. So let me go down this list of funny icebreaker questions. Let's see how funny they are. What is one article of clothing that someone could wear that would make you walk out on a date with them? One more time, hold on, my brain's not processing it. What is one article of clothing that someone could wear that would make you walk out on a date with them? So something that they would wear that would make me instantly want to date them. Gee, this question's going to expose me, isn't it? Because my brain's just a loop of like anything goth, anything goth, anything goth. I'm sorry, I just have impeccable taste. I guess that's I'm trying to figure out exactly what... I don't know, just anything like goth or alternative. If you have like... Or like, I don't know. I guess so. Not to say that that's a requirement for going on a date with me by any means. It's just, you know, if there had to be if there's an article of clothing that you'd wear that it's like, well, okay, now I have to go on a date with you, then that would probably be it. It looks cool and it looks like almost not sophisticated. What am I looking for? It looks date appropriate at the same time, right? Like, a lot of goth stuff is very like, you know, you're dressing up nice. So, I mean, your mileage may vary on the nice part, but I think it's very nice. I, for one. What's another funny question? The zombie apocalypse is something. Who are 3 people you want on your team? Bob the Builder. He'll fix it. He'll just fix the whole situation. We'll just be like, hey Bob, we got a zombie apocalypse on our hands. And he's like, can we fix it? Yes, we can. You know, he has that go-to attitude. You know, he'll fix it. Who are some other fictional characters I have on my team? Kirby? Kirby is OP. Maybe like... I haven't come up with 3, but I'm just trying to come up with funny answers to this funny question. That isn't very fun. This feels like the sort of question that'll get you into like a heated debate with people, which would be kind of funny. I do see the point, I suppose. Well played. List of supposedly funny questions. Well played. I can't think of what other characters would be good in a zombie apocalypse. Zombie apocalypse is coming. Wait a second. I didn't realize that we had the chance to prevent the zombie apocalypse. So the apocalypse hasn't happened yet. This is an opportunity. Who do we have on our team who could prevent a zombie apocalypse? Again, I think that, yeah, a good Bob the Builder would be a good candidate. I also think that damn it, not quite. Who would also be a good? I feel like I'm trying to think of like children's characters, like Dora the Explorer. Nah. What about like? What about like Mr. Clean? I'm trying to think of other characters who it's like... Because if it's a viral thing... then like, you know, Mr. Clean will wipe down any surface that has the zombie virus on it, you know? We just avoided the, you know, crisis averted. Apocalypse averted. Just like that. See, it's all about who you choose to have on your team. So, Bob the Builder, Mr. Clean, and, maybe like... Who's like a video game character who'd be like really good at... Because we want to prevent the zombie apocalypse. What if it's not viral? What's like the other... You know, what if it's not a disease that makes everyone a zombie? What if it's just like a classic, like, you get bitten, you turn into a zombie rules, right? Like vampire rules, basically. If it's vampire rules, then you probably want someone with a good knowledge of, like, stranger danger. Someone who's going to, like, tell you to keep your distance, you know? Someone who's going to ensure, no matter what happens, that everyone keeps their distance. Who would be good for that? Or maybe you just need, like, maybe... Oh, I know! Gordon Ramsay is the third one. Okay? Zombies want to bite, like, human flesh. That's because they have, that's because they don't have a very well-developed palate. I think once you introduce them to the cooking of Gordon Ramsay, then they'll go off like human meat entirely. So that's my zombie apocalypse team right there. Mr. Clean, Gordon Ramsay, and Bob the Builder. Okay, Bob the Builder's like our backup emergency plan. You know? If Gordon doesn't work and Mr. Clean doesn't seem to be doing anything, then like Bob the Builder will fix it. Alright, what's another question? What is your most used emoji? None of them. For real? The most used one? How's this a funny question? My most used one... is probably just the thumbs up emoji, honestly. I'm a very emotionless... or I come across very emotionless when I'm texting because I don't use emojis very often. Yeah, that's the thing, is I don't like to use emojis when I text, and I feel like it makes me come across as like a robot sometimes. I mean, I feel like 90% of the time it's not needed to come across as like funny or friendly or whatever. Like, friendly actually is a different story. If you want to come across as friendly, you might want to use a few emojis. As I have learned. So, you know, I use them very sparingly. When I feel it's appropriate. Yeah, that's about it. That was a bad question. What is the worst style choice you have ever made? I just don't have style in general. I just don't know anything about fashion. I guess growing out my hair is maybe, as I am currently doing, is maybe the worst fashion choice I've made. The worst style choice I've made, but it'll pay off eventually, trust me. It'll look good when it's grown out. You'll see. What was the worst haircut you ever had? You're just tying this into the previous question. No, next one. We already covered that. Who was your childhood actor/actress crush? I never crushed on an actor or an actress. I didn't even really have any, like... I didn't not have any fictional crushes, but I didn't have any, like, early fictional crushes that everyone goes on about. The first fictional crush I can remember was like a lot later than that. Again, I'm just exposing myself by saying this, but Gogo from Big Hero 6 was a fictional crush that I had for like 2 weeks and then got over. Not even 2 weeks, maybe 1 week, I don't know. But yeah, she was one I had for a time. And honestly, her character just is... what's her face? Jinx from, I mean, it's not exactly the same character, obviously. But the character reminds me a lot of, Jinx from Arcade Spirits, now that I mention it. I'm sure... what were some other characters? Because I remember I definitely had at least one crush before briefly Gogo. But I can't remember what they were. But it must have been like, 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. Beats me. If you were a wrestler, what would be your entrance theme song? I don't even have a funny answer for this one. Maybe like... Funny answer. I don't know. No funny answer, sorry. If you could bring back any fashion trend... No, sorry. Have you been told you look like someone famous? Who was it? No. I don't think I ever have. I could be wrong. I've probably been told like once or maybe twice that I look like someone famous, but I can't recall who. I feel like maybe I look so generic that like I transcend looking like a celebrity, you know? Because celebrities are recognizable. I don't know. Probably not, but I don't know, who would I even look like? I once got told by someone in high school that I looked like a stereotypical Christian. And at the time I was a Christian. So I wasn't entirely sure whether to take that as a compliment or like... I'm not sure he knew how he meant it either. He just knew that this was the case and he had to express it. Like he could not get over how well he fit like the stereotype he had in his head, right? So that's something. Next question. If you could bring back any fashion trend, what would it be? I don't know, dude. Fashion trend to bring back. Bring back the mullet? I don't know. Fashion trend, not just... What do I wish was fashionable again so I could wear it? I don't know, man. This whole stream is big NPC energy. I have no opinions to speak of. What did you name your first car? I don't understand people who name their cars. I don't even technically own a car. I have a car that I drive, but technically it's my parents'. So, oh, I did it! Hell yes! 1 level down, only 9 more to go. Yeah, I'm gonna be here a while, aren't I? Does your current car have a name? No. Cool, we just burned through 2 questions. I wanted these to last the whole stream. If you have your own late night talk show, who do you invite as your first guest? Weird Al Yankovic. Maybe. I don't know, I just don't really get into like celebrity culture, and the thing I like about Weird Al is that, I mean, A, he's managed to keep himself relevant for like how many years? Like a long ass time. And it's honestly impressive. And secondly, he's like an anti-celebrity, right? I mean, he's far from the only person who could fall under this category, but oh, crap. I screwed this up. How do you do this? Hold on, I feel like the only way to... Oh, maybe if I fit it there. No, because I've had to... Okay, I'm stumped. Oh, okay, so I fit this one here, this one here. No, that's a bad idea. I mean, then I can fit this one here, but then where does this one go? Anyway, yeah, if I were to have a celebrity on, then it'd probably be Weird Al Yankovic. Maybe like, or maybe like, I know, what's his name? Tim Minchin? Australian comedian, musician guy. He's like that too. Where he's just like a normal person behind the scenes. Okay, this is very annoying. Oh, there we go. How about that? Alright, if a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be? Who would play you? A movie of my life? I haven't lived enough life to make a movie yet. Nothing interesting has happened just yet. As it is right now, it would be like, I don't know, a cautionary tale. To do something with your life? I don't know. Oh, I don't like the shape of this. Oh boy. If you were famous, what would you be famous for? It's a good question, because I'm, you know, I'm one of those people who watches someone do anything on like the internet or whatever. And I'm like, I could do that. And then you realize it actually takes like talent and practice. Like some level of skill, and then you're like, forget it. What was the question again? What would I be famous for? I don't really see myself becoming famous, but I would love to be famous for like I don't know. I would want to be famous for something that isn't like I wouldn't want to be like celebrity famous. Like that sounds like a nightmare. Like when it comes to like, I think YouTubers have it good because unless you're like a really big YouTuber, you're usually like seldom recognized outside of like conventions or whatever. That sounds like a good deal. And it's the same thing with voice actors too. Voice actors have like the perfect level of fame. Where like you have people who like your work and admire you, so you get that like ego boost, but you don't have the downsides of like having the paparazzi chasing you, or having like, you know, it's kind of like fame without the downsides. Being a voice actor or any other type of role like that. A VTuber would also be the same thing, I'd imagine. And boy, wouldn't it be sick to be famous for that, but I don't know if I'm entertaining enough. I don't know if I've got the right personality for it to keep people entertained. To draw an audience and keep an audience. It is difficult. It can be a lot of pressure. Well, more than a lot of pressure, it just needs to come like naturally to you, right? Oh, wow, that was the quickest solve yet. That took like a minute? But yeah, you need to have a knack for like making mundane things entertaining. Because most of the stuff you'll be doing on stream will be fairly mundane, no matter how much you try to like spice it up by coming up with interesting ideas. So I feel like, yeah, you need to be good at like conversation, or at least just being an entertaining personality. If you want to be a streamer, and I don't know that I have that, but hey, maybe I'm calling it a little bit too early. I don't want to throw in the towel just yet. I want to give this a shot for a little while. See if I develop the skills necessary to be a good streamer. You know, I mean, right now I'm just reading questions off of icebreaker questions off of a random website I found on Google, so you know, going great so far. If you have to sing karaoke, what song do you pick? I don't know. I pick a lot of songs. 500 Miles is a classic because you get to put on a scuffed Scottish accent, and I love doing that. It's part of the reason I picked up D&D. Man, mate. Oh, I could do a whole stream talking about like D&D characters I once had and stuff. Well, maybe I won't have enough to fill an entire stream, but that might be a fun topic of conversation. So maybe I'll just do that once I've run out of icebreaker questions. Maybe I'll just talk about D&D characters I've had, because that's a lot more mindless than having to like switch to another window because I only have one monitor, and read out a question and then give a non-answer and then switch to another question. I'm 1 second. Hey. Oh, okay. For a second I thought I was muted, sorry. Yeah, I forgot to put on some like tunes for most of that. For the BRB screen initially, sorry about that. I forgot to tell people that I was streaming, so I got interrupted. And then I was like, oh, I might as well take a break, and then I realized, oh shoot, I forgot to I forgot to put on the radio, turn on the radio. I'm sorry. Alright, where was I? Icebreaker questions, okay. Well, the karaoke question, I answered, but there's like a lot of songs that I like to pick at karaoke. Just songs that I like and stuff. A lot of Coldplay, not gonna lie. I also find that Photograph by Nickelback is fun if I want to like kill my throat. by imitating his like, look at this photograph, you know? I can't even I can't even sing it at full volume right now because I'm not the only occupant of this house at the moment, and people are going to be like, why is he singing Photograph by Nickelback? And that is a problem because I am self-conscious sometimes. Bit of an understatement. What's another question we've got on this list of icebreakers? What was your least favorite food as a child? Do you still hate it or do you love it now? Onion. I hated onion and I still choose not to have it in anything if I can avoid it. I'm still a picky eater like that. I don't know, I just don't like, you know, little pieces of onion in what I'm eating. I'm a little less picky about it now, but like, I'm still far pickier than I should be. If you had to eat one meal every day for the rest of your life, what would it be? I don't know, something incredibly unhealthy like pizza or something. Pizza's a very safe answer. Let's go with pizza. As long as I could have like different types of pizza, and also assuming I don't have like the health drawbacks of eating pizza every day, you know? If you were left on a deserted island with either your worst enemy or no one, who would you choose and why? I don't think I really have any enemies. I would be worried about people who would consider themselves my enemy. Right? I'd be like, oh god, who's... You know. Because it'd probably be like a bully or something. Would probably be someone who I very purposefully like cut out of my life. So if it's the last person I'd want to be stuck on a deserted island with, or no one. I'm taking this question far too seriously, but I mean, I can usually I feel like I can usually, like, you know, be comfortable just on my own. However, this is the sort of situation where people go, like, clinically insane from being deprived of social interaction. So, if we were to take the question very seriously like that, if we were to take the scenario, if we were to seriously weigh the realistic pros and cons of doing that, then I would rather be there with someone even if they were my worst enemy. Again, I don't consider anyone my worst enemy. I don't consider myself to really have enemies. Unless, you know, somebody else has decided that I am their enemy, you know? But I don't like to make enemies. Or I try not to make enemies. But yeah, I think I'm gonna, yeah, even if it was someone who hated my guts, or even, like, I hated them, then I think I'd still prefer to be there with someone. I mean, two heads are better than one, right? Our odds of survival go up. It means I don't go crazy. I can see a lot of benefit to it, but if you were, like, just stranded on a desert island for a week with nobody, then I'd be like, nah, just put me out there on my own, honestly. Yeah, that would be, I think, a much better experience than being stuck there with my worst enemy. Might even be relaxing. It'd probably just be boring, though, let's be honest. Last few questions. If aliens landed on Earth tomorrow and offered to take you home with them, would you go? Hold on. I mean, I'd have to think about it. I'd have a long, indecisive think about it, and they'd probably just get sick of waiting for me to make up my mind and leave without me. But I would consider it. I have a lot going on here at the moment. It's just really like, you know, my family. If I had some way to, like, communicate with people back home, as in if I could, like, send letters even, just some, like, form of communication, even if it's not, like, the fastest, then sure, I guess I'd start my life over in an alien civilization. Why not? Of course, if I were realistically actually put into that situation, I'd probably give a different answer, but hey, it's hypothetical, right? I don't need to put too much thought into it. 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s? Which decade do you love the most and why? Well, I have no memory of any of these decades, honestly speaking. So I couldn't tell you. I couldn't give you any, like, educated opinion, right? I couldn't give you an informed opinion on which decade was the best. But if I was just making shit up, I don't know. What was even the vibe of the 60s? Weren't the Beatles just, like, establishing themselves? No, that was 50s, I think. I don't know. I don't even know what the vibe of the 60s were. I know 70s was, like, disco. And, like, 80s was, like, arcade games and really? That's all I can think of for the 80s? Just... Well, and, like, so, like, Pac-Man and Rubik's Cubes and I don't know, stuff like that. It just feels like a very, like, nerdy era. Like, it's the era... It's the right era to be a nerd, you know? And the 90s... I don't know, I just think of Friends when I think of the 90s. I think I'm gonna have to go with the 80s on that one. Because the two things I could recall, which are arcade games and Rubik's Cubes, were very appealing to me personally. Very colourful and stimulating and fun sounding, so... And the 80s was very much that, like, flashy neon era, right? Where flashy neon stuff was considered really cool, really in. And I feel like it matches my aesthetic just fine. Like, I feel like my... Is my, like, streaming layout aesthetic, my channel aesthetic, is it like 80s inspired? Because it wasn't intentional. But it might be a little bit. I don't know, just something interesting to think about. Final question. What is your favorite sandwich and why? What an underwhelming final question. I don't know. I like to get meatball subs from Subway. I don't know. Putting meatballs in a sandwich is like a little strange, but like amazing. So I think I'd have to go with just throw meatballs into a sandwich and I'll be happy. Throw IKEA's like Swedish meatballs into a sandwich. Wasn't there like a big scandal where like they were made of like something disgusting and people were put off the IKEA meatballs forever? I feel like something like that happened, probably. Usually happens with processed food. People find out what's in it and they're like, no, thank you. And that's the end of the quote-unquote funny icebreaker questions. There are other categories. Great icebreaker questions, best icebreaker questions for meetings, no thank you. Awkward, weird icebreaker questions. Hold on, what are these? What's the weirdest food you've ever eaten? I haven't eaten a lot of weird food. Vegemite, I guess, from an international perspective, but if I were to just tell that to someone in Australia, they'd be like, oh, come on. So it's not strange for here, but on like a larger scale, yeah, it's probably the weirdest thing I've eaten. What is the most out-of-character thing you've ever done? Oh, that's an interesting question. I don't know, I'm thinking about it. I did have a friend at one point who was like trying to... who like I didn't see for a long time, and then I saw them after several years, and he had gotten really obsessed with like money and making money, and clearly wanted to like take advantage of me for... he tried to write me into a pyramid scheme, basically. Along with along with, you know, tried to rope me into other things that like he wanted to do but he didn't want to do alone. And I had to sort of put my foot down and say like, no. Or, not in person though. I didn't put my foot down in person, sadly, but I did have to like, because they were still trying to root me into that pyramid scheme, and they were like, and they really like hassled me into saying yes to meeting someone to talk about it. It was the last thing I wanted to do. But then as soon as they like pressured me into saying yes, they were like, "Oh, you have now given me your word. And as a friend, you are now obligated to to come see this person about making money. This person's like rich and has made money through..." And I'm like, I don't give a shit about being rich. I'll just be honest. Like, yeah, it'd be great, but like people who become rich aren't happy. Like, it makes them happy for maybe like a week, and then they're like, "Oh, wait a second. I sense the hole has not been filled. I sense as if, you know, life goes on. What the heck am I supposed to do now that I've achieved everything I set out to do?" And it makes people depressed and shit. Yeah, not a life I particularly wanted to live. So I just wasn't interested, but he wouldn't take no for an answer, and eventually I had to send him an email and be like, "Look, not only am I not going to this thing, but I don't want you to contact me anymore. And here's why. Here's why you've been annoying." And this person didn't like reply to that message, didn't contact me again. So that might be because I'm a very non-confrontational person. That was a pretty out of character thing for me to do. Although, again, it wasn't in person. It was the equivalent of breaking up with someone over text, only it was a friend. So I suppose there's that. I'm just trying to think, there's got to be something more out of character I've done. I'm sure if I ask my friends, they can come up with something that, like, shocked them. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's the end of the... No, wait. I was starting a new list of these icebreaker questions, right? What's your cell phone wallpaper? I think it's still the default. My desktop wallpaper, though, is from Celeste at the moment. As is my ringtone. Everything is just Celeste themed, because I'm like, well... might as well, I don't know, theme my desktops and stuff off my favorite game. Yeah, whereas I don't care about my phone. I honestly don't think I use it as much. So, no, I don't. So, I don't bother with that. Other questions. You have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life. What is it? Sushi? Scotch tape? Those are some very specific... This is some oddly specific examples. If I could have an infinite supply of one thing. Maybe hair clips? Now I'm trying to grow my hair out, and I really need hair clips to keep my hair in place at the moment, because it's not long enough to like just tuck behind my ears or whatever. I mean, it kind of is, but I think it looks kind of goofy at the moment because my hair's not that long, and also, you know, some of my fringe still gets in the way. So I guess hair clips? maybe like an infinite supply of... Sure, I'm going to say hair clips, because at the moment I have like 3 that I use and alternate between, and I'm losing them all the time. And I'm sick of that happening. Oh, not quite. The cats almost fit neatly. Okay, let's try... No. Let's try that. But how am I gonna fit... No, these are bad shapes to be working with. This is not working. Okay, so... What vegetable would you most want to be? That's one of the questions. Potato. Easy answer. Easiest answer of my life. And then the rest of the questions aren't really that interesting. That's the end of the icebreakers, I guess. I just wanted to finish this game on stream, honestly. But it means I can't just, like, watch YouTube videos on stream. I mean, I suppose I could. I just need to find a good or interesting video to watch. Right? Hold on, let's see if there's anything in my YouTube watch later. That's really long that I would be interested in watching. Here's one. Sonic, but it's in first person. By Salty K Dan. I think that's the only one I... Let's see, what else? Obeying the law in GTA. Lego Batman subversive queer-coding. Promises as a magic system, question mark? That's interesting. Pokemon Black and White don't need a remake, in brackets, they're already perfect. Yeah, that's a good... That's a good sounding, Hold on, I'm gonna start off with, Am I gonna do this? I do want to do this. Okay, I want to watch this, this Sonic first-person video. I'm gonna edit the... Hold on, okay. There's a lot of stuff I need to do if this stream becomes this. So first... I need to add... this to my thing. Only it's going to be... I want to open it in picture-in-picture mode, though, on my thing. Hold on. I'll make it capture that instead. Hold on, let me remove this. I'm gonna add a new window capture. Where's window capture? There it is, at the bottom, because it's alphabetical. Videos. Okay, so I want to capture the picture-in-picture. Okay. That is what's happening at the moment. Why do I want to put it on my screen? I think the top left is a good idea. Right? I feel like that's a good idea. And then we need to capture the audio as well. So, 1 second. I guess that'll do. And I hope it's not too loud. Actually, I'll... Hold on. Just give me a second to get this set up. We're gonna watch some videos on stream. Let's make a BGM instead, because it's easier to adjust. Okay, so I'm also going to change the hold on, so what does my stream window look like? It looks like that. Maybe I should put it... Yeah, I'll put it in the lower left. Or the lower right? Put it in the lower right. That seems like the designated place to put videos. No, I'll put it in the lower left because I am going to need to push the button on the lower right if I advance to the next level of the game. So yeah, I think lower left is the least intrusive option for me, except I can't see the well, no, here we go. Okay, we'll put it bottom right for the stream, and then... Wait, hold on, my... Does this window need to be big? No, that's just what the game looks like. Okay, well, good. Yeah, so we'll put a video here and we'll start watching videos on stream. Let me just... edit my video description for this. Edit video. I will also be watching videos on stream. Feel free to recommend something for me to watch in the chat. Hold on, feel free to recommend something in the chat. In the chat for me to watch. And then, wait, hold on. Save changes. And then I'm also going to pin a message that says basically the same things in the description. I'm watching videos on stream. Feel free to recommend something in chat for me to watch. Okay. And I'm going to pin that. Very cool. Okay. Oh, now I want to edit it so it says, oh, I can't edit it. It's fine. It gets the message across. Okay. I'm going to, real quick, disable the music. There we go. It'll still have meowing sounds. Do we want the meow sounds still on? Oh. I don't know. It depends how loud this, it depends how loud the video is going to be, if it's going to interfere with it. But I think it'll be fine if we keep the sounds on. And if it's being a bother, then, like, I'll turn them off. Anyway. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know what, maybe we should find a different video. Maybe, you know, seizure warning, maybe we shouldn't. I don't want to have to put a seizure warning on the stream. Let's instead watch Guess Who, but with vibes only. This is a video that this is a video I've seen on my recommended, and I don't know who these guys are. No idea, but we can watch them. We can watch that, or we could watch. I also want to know... Okay, I'm going to start with this one. A tire company gives out the most prestigious food award, here's why. I really want to know what the deal is with the Michelin star. Because, yeah, why does a tire company give out the most prestigious food award in the world? What the heck? Is it capturing the very right side of the video, or is it missing that? What's the deal? Okay, I'm just gonna not mess with that. I think it's a good idea. Okay. Alright, let's watch this video. Am I going to skip the ads? I guess, you know, I mean, I'm keeping this bit in there, but when it gets to the actual ad bit, I'll skip it. Oh, can you even hear it? Hold on. No, you can't. Hold on, hold on. I need to set this to actually... yeah, to actually capture the audio of this window. Okay. Did I mess everything up? Is the videos... I don't know where that went. Oh, it's just because I don't have it active right now. There we go. Will it still pop up? Yes, it will. Okay, cool. So I think that should work. Nope. It's not capturing the audio still. This is very annoying. Yes, you should be capturing the picture-in-picture audio. Or you know what? Just capture that. Or no, hold on. God damn it. I've screwed something up. Hold on. Why can't it capture the picture-in-picture anymore? How have I managed to screw things up so badly? Okay, now that should work. No? I'm still not seeing the audio come up. Maybe I should just... Okay, I'm gonna mute the game audio for now and just turn on desktop audio, which should capture...
If you've ever watched a racing event or have a general interest in cars or motorsport, you probably recognize this little guy, the Michelin Man. It is the mascot of the French tire manufacturer Michelin, the second largest tire manufacturer in the world. They have made tires for the Bugatti Veyron, the famous Caterpillar dump trucks, and even the space shuttle, as well as for millions of people all.
So, should I turn it down a bit so you can hear me, kind of? Just in case I want to talk over the video? I think that's probably a good idea. Okay. Let's start it over and watch this video.
This video was sponsored by Brilliant. Head over to brilliant.org/FIM to get 20% off your premium subscription. If you've ever watched a racing event or have a general interest in cars or motorsport, you probably recognize this little guy, the Michelin Man. It is the mascot of the French tire manufacturer Michelin, the second largest tire manufacturer in the world. They have made tires for the Bugatti Veyron, the famous Caterpillar dump trucks, and even the space shuttle, as well as for millions of people all over the world, of course. But its logo also shows up in other, quite surprising places, at the entrances of fancy restaurants. Most people probably know what a Michelin star is and what it represents, at least in essence. But not everybody will instantly make the connection between this Michelin and this Michelin, even though the name should make this pretty obvious. So how did this happen? How did a tire company come to rate restaurants? And why is this, of all things, the most prestigious award a restaurant or chef can receive?
Because we live in capitalist hell and everything needs to have a brand attached to it. I don't know. Well, we'll find out.
To understand this, we have to go back more than 100 years, to the year 1900. It was the beginning of the automobile boom. In France, around 3,000 people owned a car at that time, and with the first cars going into mass production, it was foreseeable that this number would rise quickly in the next few years, and especially decades. The brothers Edouard and André Michelin, the owners of the newly established tire company, had already gained attention for the invention of a new replaceable air-filled tire, but the automobile market was still too small to really profit from it. So they started to look for ways to promote the continued progress of automobiles in the country and to convince more people to buy cars, as well as to promote their new company and product. Their idea? A guide for motorists. Travel guides were a popular thing at the time. With a growing market for long-distance tourism, there was a sudden demand for high-quality information about far-flung places. Murray's Handbook for Travelers and the German Baedeker guides had come out only a few decades earlier and had been hugely successful. The Michelin brothers saw a gap in the market for a guide specifically aimed at motorists that would provide drivers with useful information such as maps, tire repair and replacement instructions, petrol station and car mechanics listings, as well as listings for suitable restaurants and hotels. Information that would be otherwise difficult to find. The brothers were right, and the Michelin guide became an almost instant success, which prompted them to quickly publish the guide in other countries as well.
Wait, so this was an actual thing? Hold on, so they hadn't, so they're not even a car manufacturer yet, right? So they started off making guides. Sorry, they were tire manufacturer. Sorry, they're not a car manufacturer. They make tires.
Such as Belgium in 1904, Algeria and Tunisia in 1907, Italy, Switzerland and the Netherlands in 1908, Germany, Spain and Portugal in 1910, and Ireland and the British Isles in 1911, expanding the company's reach internationally. In the early 1920s, when cars had become a lot more common, the focus of the Michelin Guide on tire and car maintenance then gave way to classic guidebook fare. Due to the rising popularity of the restaurant section of the book, this section was reconstructed.
Guys, I did it. I did the puzzle. I'm on level 76 now. Sorry, continue with it. Sorry, continue, Mr. Who did this video? Hold on. Facts in motion. Please continue.
And expanded. To ensure the quality of the listings, the brothers...
Hold on, let me just jump back 10 seconds. There we go.
Due to the rising popularity of the restaurant section of the book, this section was reconstructed and expanded. To ensure the quality of the listings, the brothers recruited a team of so-called inspectors, full-time food critics that would travel the country, visit restaurants anonymously, and review them. A practice that has remained relatively unchanged until today. A few years later, in 1926, they then made the most important change by introducing stars to award particularly good restaurants. Initially, they only gave out single stars, but in 1931, the system was expanded to the 3-star system we know. Today, nearly 90 years later, a new Michelin Guide is still being published every year, and while its origin as a guidebook for motorists is long forgotten by most, it has, since then, become maybe the most prestigious restaurant award in the world.
Wow, okay, so, and this all predates tire manufacture.
But why? Why is its rating so highly valued by chefs? One reason is certainly the company's and the guide's long history. Michelin survived 2 world wars and many recessions over its long 130-year existence. It now ranks among the 30 oldest companies in France. During all this time, they never gave up on their odd marketing item, which meant it quickly became one of the most well-known travel guides in the world. One advantage the Michelin Guide had over other guides, particularly during the rough first half of the 20th century, was that its profitability was never a concern. In the first 20 years, the guides were given out for free, and even after they started to charge money for it, in 1920 it very likely remained unprofitable for a long time. But because its editors could count on the Michelin marketing department covering its costs, this was never an issue. And so this odd marketing expense withstood the test of time. It also meant that they could strive for a level of quality that other publishers couldn't. The maps, for instance, were some of the best in the world. They were so well made, in fact, that Michelin Guides were given out to British and US soldiers during World War II. Then there was the fact that the company hired dozens of full-time food critics just to review restaurants all year round, year after year. Another thing that only they could afford and clearly made the guide stand out among the competition. But perhaps the most important factor was exclusivity. Driving in the early 20th century was very much limited to the rich and the famous, so the guide was initially heavily geared towards this demographic. As a result, the selective standards for what to include were notoriously strict and elitist, and only the creme de la creme of restaurants was considered for a star. Okay. Only a few dozen, maybe even only a handful of restaurants were awarded stars in each country. Even after 1950, when cars were no longer just a luxury item and the guide had already more than 100,000 readers, the strict, exclusive selection process remained.
Okay.
This combination, the combination of popularity and exclusivity, made the recognition by the Michelin Guide a big deal for restaurants. It was a surefire way to make your restaurant stand out among the competition. A star meant overnight recognition. It elevated the restaurant from 1 in thousands to 1 in a few dozen. It guaranteed a surge in new customers for the next year and more. It was simply very, very good for business, which is why the stars became a very valuable and sought after honor among restaurants and chefs. This was of course not the intention or goal behind the guide, but simply a byproduct of its selection process and criteria, and its reputation. Nonetheless, it meant that the Michelin Guide and its stars quickly became more consequential for restaurants and chefs than perhaps any other honor, and it has remained like this ever since.
Interesting. A bit more trivia about the Michelin stars.
I know this video wasn't the type of science video I usually do, so I thought we could end it with a little science quiz to make up for that. Here's the problem.
Sure.
Imagine you and a flock of little birds weighing as much as you do eat together day after day. Which of you would need to eat more calories to stay alive? Did you get it?
Hold on. wait. Ask me again. Hold on.
And a flock of little birds weighing as much as you. It wasn't the type of science video I usually do, so I thought we could end it with a little science quiz to make up for that. Here's the problem. Imagine you and a flock of little birds weighing as much as you do eat together day after day. Which of you would need to eat more calories to stay alive?
So it's not specified which bird, so I don't think like the bird's specific like digestive system or whatever is too important. Probably the birds? I don't know, I'm guessing.
Did you get it? If you enjoy problem-solving exercises
come on.
I suggest you check out Brilliant, a
Not gonna
learning
tell me the
platform
answer.
that uses
Okay.
exercises like this to teach you mathematics, physics, and computer science. The problem
Are the comments at least going to tell me? I thought it was a different Michelin. Now tell me how the Guinness Beer Company is the same creator of the Guinness World Records. Hold on, so I think I missed the bit at the beginning where they made the connection with the tire company. So they did make
This
tires
video was
first?
sponsored by Brilliant. Head over to brilliant.org/FIM
Let
to
me
get
just
20%
pay
off
attention
your
to this bit.
subscription. If you've ever watched a racing event or have a general interest in cars or motorsport, you probably recognize this little guy, the Michelin Man. It is the mascot of the French tire manufacturer Michelin, the second largest tire manufacturer in the world. They have made tires for the Bugatti Veyron, the famous Caterpillar dump trucks, and even the space shuttle, as well as for millions of people all over the world, of course. But its logo also shows up in other, quite surprising places, at the entrances of fancy restaurants.
Good evening, sir.
Most people probably know what a Michelin star is and what it represents, at least in essence. But not everybody will instantly make the connection between this Michelin and this Michelin,
I
even though
certainly didn't.
the name should make this pretty obvious. So how did this happen? How did a tire company come to rate restaurants? And why is this, of all things, the most prestigious award a restaurant or chef can receive? To understand this, we have to go back more than 100 years, to the year 1900. It was the beginning of the automobile boom. In France, around 3,000 people owned a car at that time, and with the first cars going into mass production, it was foreseeable that this number would rise quickly in the next few years, and especially decades. The brothers
okay.
Edouard and André Michelin, the owners of the newly established tire company, had already gained attention for the invention of a new replaceable air-filled tire.
Alright, so, it was the car market was small, so they couldn't survive off of like tire sales alone. And as it was like a new and developing market, they were looking for other opportunities to make profit. Okay, that answers my question. That makes sense. So they did make tires before they made the guide. Okay. I might change the name of my stream to make it more obvious that I am also watching videos. How would I do that? What would I... Edit video. There we go. What do I change the stream title to? Hold on. I'm gonna say watching videos until I finish the cat game. Okay, cool. That was a good video. That was interesting. Let's... we could watch, like, Sculpt the Was. that makes a nice like background thing. No, let's watch a video gushing about Pokemon Black and White and see if we agree. I think I'm going to agree with the points made in this video.
Technology and art are intertwined. As tech improves, we find new ways of expressing art. Pokemon's a good example of this. It exists across each of Nintendo's handheld consoles. Every time there was a new console, we had new expectations. But for the first time ever in 2011, Game Freak stopped. The same year that Nintendo released the 3DS, a powerful handheld console capable of detailed 3D graphics, Game Freak launched Pokemon Black and White for the regular DS, still with pixelated Pokemon and characters. It was controversial at the time, with several interviews asking why on earth they still weren't making 3D Pokemon games. Technically they could have done ever since Pokemon Diamond and Pearl in fact, but they maintained that this was the best way to retain art director Ken Sugimori's vision. At the time, as a teenager, I didn't understand this, but I think I do now. There's an appeal to pixel art that exists outside of just hardware limitations, and so while I and many others were getting impatient and flipping wistfully through the Pokédex 3D app, Game Freak were busy perfecting their craft for the very last time. Hello and welcome to the Caniper Effect. This is a studio spotlight on Game Freak, the creators of Pokemon Black and White.
It's so funny how the narrative has changed, because when Pokemon Black and White came out, people didn't like it, and now it's become like, you know, Game Freak perfecting their craft. It's become like their, what do you call it? It's become their, you know, people regard it, it's become a cult classic. People regard it as like their, what do you call it when it's your best work? Why am I blanking on this? Yeah, anyway, people are like, magnum opus, that's the word. People are like, it's Game Freak's magnum opus. It's, yeah, it's funny how opinions change.
We didn't get the chance to appreciate pixels as an art form until the Game Boy. Pixels were obviously a part of games before, but we never quite saw them. When we emulate NES and SNES titles, we miss out on the fact that these pixelated characters were crafted specifically for CRT screens. Many artists would keep a TV on their desk to check how their work looked through the scan lines. Early consoles could only display a certain amount of colours, but game developers were coming up with tricks to create the impression of more detail by using the blurring intrinsic to CRT TVs. In fact, according to Square Enix pixel artist Koichi Ishii, when you display old Final Fantasy games on an LCD screen, you're not seeing their work as intended. But that's why
Wow, hot take from a different... I didn't know that quote. I had no idea. We passed another level. We're on level 77. We only have 3 more levels to clear in the game, and then we're done. We're free from this game.
the Game Boy was so important. Suddenly, these pixel artists were being put in a situation where their work was clear. No more scan lines. The creator of the Game Boy, Gunpei Yokoi, specifically wanted to challenge developers at the time. The screen didn't actually have to be monochrome, but he felt that a lot could be achieved through pixelated shapes instead. This was a challenge that the team at Game Freak took up. And they were
Hold on. Run that by me again.
Their work was clear. No more scan TVs. The creator of the Game Boy, Gunpei Yokoi, specifically wanted to challenge developers at the time. The screen didn't actually have to be monochrome, but he felt that a lot could be achieved through pixelated shapes instead.
No, are you saying that the black and white... Like, he could have just flipped, like, the color switch, but was like, nah, I think it looks better in black and white. Like, I don't believe that for a second. I mean... Maybe that was, one of the dominant reasons why I didn't go for color, as well as, it would take a lot of resources and wouldn't be practical and blah, 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 blah. So it's probably that, like, he was just like, well, it doesn't need the color, you know? We're making the world's first handheld console. You want to make sure it runs and everything. Color isn't the top priority, I suppose. And I suppose he justified it afterwards, being like, well, I don't think color's a big deal. But I don't think... I find it doubtful that he set out to be like, video games will be played in black and white now and forever.
This was a challenge that the team at Game Freak took up, and they were kind of already
I just want to challenge people. I just want to challenge the industry. That's all I'm doing.
unique in the pixel graphics space from the start. The company started out as a magazine, and Satoshi Tajiri would draw
really?
these pixel characters on the front.
Wait.
But when
How did I not know this? Game Freak started out as a magazine? That makes so much more sense as the name of a magazine than the name of a video game developer.
unique in the pixel graphics space from the start. The company started out as a magazine, and Satoshi Tajiri would draw these pixel characters on the front. But when Ken Sugimori joined, he felt they were kinda lame, and instead wanted to go for a manga style instead. This philosophy continued into their game creation, where Sugimori would use anime and manga as inspiration for the animations in Game Freak titles and early consoles. And so that's where Pokemon comes from. The challenging limitations of Gunpei Yokoi's Game Boy console combined with Ken Sugimori's manga ambitions. On the overworld, they're simple sprites with a couple cute walk animations, but it was the battle screen that demonstrated their ability to create appealing pixel characters that would capture the world.
Get it? Capture?
Pokemon would eventually be realised in colour, and at the end of 2000 would be animated for the first time in Pokemon Crystal. Of course, we were already familiar with how these guys moved in the anime, but there was still something special about seeing these pixels wiggle. It's only a few frames, but it's a way of building character and establishing the unique personalities of your new best friends. Animated sprites returned for Pokemon Emerald later on, and while it was still basic, it was a step in the right direction. But then you get to Pokemon Black and White, and they don't stop. Battles in Pokemon Black and White are always moving, with the Pokemon jiving and the camera zooming back and forth. These animation loops are all about function and personality. Sure, this still image shows us that Timber is cocky, but the animated version reveals that he's a total show-off. And it's genuinely intimidating to go up against Hydreigon, because his 3 mouths won't stop aggressively snapping at you. On the other hand, Golurk doesn't threaten you at all, selling the designer's idea of him being a gentle giant. At Game Freak, all artists are expected to design at least one Pokemon, including the pixel artists who end up working on the animations. This is one of the reasons director Junichi Masuda defends the team's persistence in 2D. The designers draw their Pokemon ideas, Sugimori creates the final illustration, and that gets added to the game in pixel form. Leading the battle animation efforts is Hironobu Yoshida, a longtime pixel advocate among those at Game Freak. In 2005, he was the character and graphic designer for Drill Dozer, alongside director Sugimori, and together they are the studio's staunchest defenders of pixel art. For them, it offers a clarity that no other medium can capture. You move just one dot, and the illusion breaks. This is important because Black and White's animation moves a lot more than just one pixel, and so to retain the feeling of the original image, animations are largely created in 2.5D, where each part of the illustration will move independently on a different layer, giving a kind of three-dimensional impression. This is often referred to as puppet animation, but saying it's just that is kind of reductive. Characters like Darumaka, Ferroseed and Scraggy have different versions of body parts to switch between as they move between pose to pose.
Yeah, I know that it's... Yeah, I know that not everything is like painstakingly hand animated in black and white. There's a lot of like puppetry, quote unquote, at work.
For the sequel, Black and White 2, the writing was on the wall. This would be Yoshida's last chance to create a pixel game, and so he went all out. This time, not only would all the Pokemon be animated, but all trainers would as well, accentuating each of their personalities. Roxy will strum on the guitar before facing you. Iris, as a brand new champion, will need to psych herself up. In the original game, this was limited to the main characters, but now everything was in motion. Yoshida described development on the game being like a festival, a one last hurrah for pixel art, before his job was outsourced to the 3D animators at Creatures Inc. Black and White were the first games to exist on the exact same console as the previous generation. In the past, whether it was the Game Boy Color...
Wait, no. No. What about like Fire Red and Leaf Green and Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald, or are we not counting remakes? I guess we're not counting remakes, but like, why not?
or Game Boy Advance, they always had the hardware to prompt this feeling of a generational gap. But for Black and White on the same Nintendo DS as Diamond and Pearl, they needed to expand their team and improve the visuals.
Oh, the first original game, I guess. You probably said that and I didn't hear it.
Part of this is the battle graphics I talked about before, but another was in the world of Unova itself. While they still wanted to keep the characters and moving objects as two-dimensional sprites, the rest of the map is entirely created in 3D. This isn't exactly an original idea. Grandia did it in 1997 and Dragon Quest VII did it in 2000. But not only did Black and White present a cleaner result, it also didn't have a CRT screen to smooth it all over. The effect has several advantages, but the main one is a feeling of real depth. As you move around, the perspective shifts. You can go underneath things, around things, all while moving according to a grid. The 3D artists who created this were a mix of Game Freak veterans who had learned to work in the new medium and some new hires. And so because most of the team had been working on Pokemon for years, it retains the same flavour. One of the new hires was James Turner, a fellow Brit who already had experience with the brand from Pokemon Colosseum on the GameCube and other projects with Genius Sonority. He joined Game Freak as both a 3D artist and, as per the rules, a Pokemon designer as well. Back at Genius, he worked on the opening cutscene of Gale of Darkness, where Lugia steals a ship. And similarly, he created the animation for Reshiram and Zekrom for two of Black and White's cutscenes. One where N in pixel form acquires his legendary, and another at the end, the first mainline cutscenes to feature 3D Pokemon models. But while these are awesome, the really memorable parts of Black and White are when it defies our expectations, where they combine these 3D assets with traditional pixel art. From the moment you step outside your house, a flock of Woobat flies over, 2D sprites, but clearly moving about in 3D space. The same effect occurs with the leaves fluttering over you as you head up through Route 1, introducing you to the game's strengths in just the first few minutes. I liked Pokemon Sun and Moon a lot, and Pokemon X and Y also happened, but anytime they tried to impress me visually, it was always something you could expect. But Black and White was breaking its own rules, most dramatically when the camera that had been fixed for 16 years suddenly started moving. I don't think I'll ever forget the feeling of walking across Sky Arrow Bridge for the first time, with the camera constantly switching angles as boats cruise underneath you and trains rush alongside you. It's the first time a mainline Pokemon game felt like a living world, and there I am trotting about as a bunch of bouncy pixels. Director Junichi Masuda included these dynamic moments purely just to make players say wow. And wow moments are at the core of Black and White's design, but the game doesn't necessarily need 3D art to accomplish this. I mentioned before that when Ken Sugimori first started at Game Freak, he was more interested in manga art than pixel works, and in a way, Black and White was his way of bringing these inspirations to Pokemon. For the first time, you're able to talk to characters face to face. It doesn't happen often, usually just used for extransiva conversations, but it's also the way the game chooses to present N's most memorable lines. Pokemon Black and White already has one of the best stories in a Pokemon game, but the fact that it ends with N looking you in the eye, telling you to achieve your dreams, it's unforgettable.
You said you have a dream. That dream? Make it come true. Wonderful.
Who's doing this voice? Who's giving him the Professor Oak voice? I just want to know.
Dreams and ideals give you the power to change the world. If anyone can, it's you.
Oh, the voice of Professor Oak actually voiced that line at one point. Cool.
Okay, look, I couldn't get N's voice actor, but that was fine, right?
Okay. I was gonna say, is N in the anime? He must be.
For me, both Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2 are perfect games. At the time, I had hundreds of hours in them, and years later, I frequently go back and replay them. And that's not to say I haven't enjoyed the game since, but in the most literal sense, they don't make games like Black and White anymore. When they moved to full 3D with X and Y, the pixel artists were reassigned to working on concept art or UI design. They're still at the company today, but it is sad that we don't get to see Hironobu Yoshida's work anymore. We just get to see a 3D artist's interpretation of it. X and Y's visuals and the games thereafter heavily relied on outsourcing. Game Freak had people who could make the maps, but for the heavy lifting, it was largely the work of their sister company, Creatures Inc., who had been creating 3D Pokemon models and animations ever since Pocket Monsters Stadium, and the 3D artists at Imagica Digitalscape, a massive CG production company. There was definitely skepticism at Game Freak in creating a full 3D game, particularly from Ken Sugimori. At this point, they were industry leaders in pixel art and had created their magnum opus in Black and White 2. Going full 3D would be throwing all of that away. So early development was tentative. If they didn't like the results, they would just scrap it all and make another game with pixels. And Black and White's 3D director Takao Uno was a big part of making sure X and Y could be a visual success, begging the artists to create black outlines on every character to more closely fit Sugimori's style. But it's still kind of sad. As Sugimori was saying, they really were throwing everything away, and of course the fans lapped up the new 3D graphics. So did I at the time. We have the image of pixels being old-fashioned, but over the last decade, there's been more appreciation for the medium. Fond memories for the Game Boy, along with emulating famous SNES titles, have given us the chance to revisit pixel art from the 80s and 90s, and indie games like Hotline Miami, Shovel Knight, and Stardew Valley have helped us remember what was so great about them. Even Pop Team Epic's pixel animation sections were created by an animator who was inspired by the art of Pokemon Black and White.
Wait, really?
In 2014, Square Enix re-released Final Fantasy VI with apparently improved graphics for
That's so cool. The Pop Team Epic thing.
mobile and later PC that redrew the characters in a smoother style. And it got slammed, with players much preferring the pixel art that they'd seen on emulators. But as I explained earlier, we were never meant to have seen that. It was always the developer's intention that the pixels be hidden behind the CRT screen. And so Yoshinori Kitase, director of the original game, was surprised to hear that people preferred the original, even on LCD screens. That said, Square Enix is showing signs of understanding, especially through the success of Team Arsenal's HD 2D games, Octopath Traveler, and the upcoming Project Triangle Strategy.
That is Square Enix,
These are
isn't it?
titles that celebrate pixel art, while, much like Pokemon Black and White, use 3D backgrounds to give the world depth. Even with all the big budget PS5 games I've been playing lately, the most impressive graphics I've seen all year have come from the Triangle Strategy demo, and it kind of sucks that this style is limited to just one developer. I want to see it all over the place, expanded and repurposed for different games and styles. I want to see it being used to remaster games, keeping the focus on the beloved 2D pixels that we learned to love far too late.
Yeah, I think this video was made before they announced the remake of Live Alive, which I want to play, by the way. That remake looks like really good. Or is that what we're seeing footage of right now? I don't think it is. Looks like Minecraft. Yeah, but that's an example of like a retro remake done in that style, and it's really cool.
Basically, I want Pokemon Black and White Octopath Edition. Gen 5 looks great upscaled. In fact, you've been seeing upscaled footage throughout this video. The 3D backgrounds are clean and complement the sharp pixel sprites, but they were made incredibly simple to be able to run on the standard Nintendo DS. Ideally, I want to see an Octopath style remaster that celebrates the pixel art from 2011 while showing how the 3D environment team have grown over the past decade.
Oh, so you want to see specifically a black and white remake that does that? Okay.
But at this point, it's incredibly doubtful that they'll return to creating pixel art. Which is kind of ironic in a way, because Game Freak is still largely a 2D company. The 3D assets in Little Town Hero, for instance, were all outsourced. But even if not a remaster, the game should still be ported. Nintendo DS cartridges don't have an unlimited lifespan, and neither do the consoles they play on. But instead of bringing Diamond and Pearl back, they're outsourcing a lifeless, faithful remake that kills the style and personality of the original.
I mean, yeah. I didn't get Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and it doesn't look great, to be honest.
And I fear they'll do the same with Black and White, because 3D is always better, right? In an interview with the creators of Mother 3, they talk about how the industry was undergoing an obsession with 3D in the early 2000s. Every game had to have the best possible 3D graphics, but Satoru Iwata noted that it had the habit of killing what was unique about some games, and he specifically mentioned that it was Pokemon Gold and Silver's pixel art that made it special, even if it took a lot less effort to achieve. Pokemon was late to 3D, but like every other developer, once they were there, they didn't turn back. Pixel games today are in the hands of indie developers and smaller teams, and while the results are incredible...
Hey, Vapid Lemon. For Fiddlemon, sorry. I don't know if I have to pause the video to be audible, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. I'm just watching videos. Game design in uni was also obsessed with 3D, it's all they taught. Yeah, industry standard. It's... Yeah, I guess courses like that are made to show you... are made to get you into the industry, right? It's not supposed to prepare you for, like, indie game development. So, that's unfortunate. They wouldn't touch 2D in that case.
I'm greedy. It may have been a limitation at the time, but today, pixel art games can still sell millions of copies.
Yeah,
and
true.
most of Game Freak's best pixel artists are either still at the company or work with them in a freelance capacity on concept art and illustrations. Hell, during a YouTube series where the company's artists would draw and chat, Hironobu Yoshida decided to make one of his pixel characters instead. I mean, it won't happen. Pokemon will never return to pixel art, and will instead march onwards into the 3D space without looking back.
Yeah, this video is about Pokemon, by the way, specifically Pokemon Black and White.
But what pains me the most is knowing that they could.
By the way, in case you're wondering, I am on level 78 out of 80 in the game. I played this game a lot off stream, and... yeah, I found it was something really nice to play while watching videos in the background. And at first I was just streaming this normally, and then I was like, you know what? I do prefer playing this game with videos running in the background. So let's let's do that. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me stay on this level. It's the only Gen Pass Sinnoh haven't watched or played? Really? Because, Black and White are really good, honestly. I don't know if they're the best Pokemon games, but, in my opinion, they're, like, second place. My favorite ones are Sun and Moon. I really like Sun and Moon. And apparently the person in this video essay agrees. How many... Okay, I'll reset it. Okay, so there are 3 more levels to go. Okay, so when we get to level 80, I think I'll start watching videos and just focus on clearing that last level. Maybe I'll put on some dramatic music in the background as well.
Thanks for watching the Caniper Effects. This is a video I've wanted to make for a long time, so thanks for bearing with me. But before I go, I'd like to thank these incredible people for supporting the channel. In particular, I'd like to thank Austin Hardwick, Dedameat, Eddie Laheka, Edwin Shea.
Yeah, all those people. Okay. Alright, what other videos do I have in my watch later? For Pedalmon, do you have any videos, any good videos I can like throw up on the screen and watch for a bit? Yeah, I'm humming myself. I'm looking through the stuff that I've got in my watch later and trying to figure out what I want to put on the screen, if anything. I do have there is a video called Sonic, but it's in first person by Salty DK Dan, and I am so morbidly curious. I really want to watch this video, but apparently there's like a major seizure warning, and in case, you know, I don't want to have to put a seizure warning on the stream. Yes, Sonk indeed. But can you imagine playing those games in a first-person point of view? That'd be a nightmare. Okay, this was the one that I was going to watch. It's not a... I want like something somewhat informative or at least analytical, or looking for like video essays and stuff. Because I don't watch a lot of video essays in my free time usually. Like if I'm going to watch a video, I'm usually like, oh, I don't have the time for a video essay, so now's the perfect time to just watch all the video essays I've been putting off watching. There's a video here called Promises as a Magic System, ? I think it's just about... I don't even know if this is about, like, D&D or anything, or role-playing games. I think this is just about, like, writing fantasy in general. So let's hear out this idea.
What if I were to promise you that, 10 years from now, I would still remember you? That I would recall with perfect clarity the exact text of the comment you left, your username, your avatar? Could be a nice thing to hear. Could possibly make you feel quite special. Perhaps even change how you think of me. Maybe you weren't expecting that level of attention, especially from a YouTuber, if you want to call me that. But then imagine those 10 years pass, and contrary to my word, you have gone from my mind entirely. Quite a different feeling then, right? You might never think of me in exactly the same way. It might just make you want to step away from watching these videos, and I wouldn't blame you at all.
Or it would completely slip from my mind, because I'm not going to remember something that simple.
A promise is a powerful thing. You don't need me to tell you this. It's part of the fabric of your world. People make promises to each other, and although it's only intersocial, only psychological, only a word given from one person to another, it matters. So much that promises have found their way into the very stories you tell. To you, they are more than profound. They are magical. And I would like to show you how. So, let's talk about promises as a magic system. If you're enjoying Tale Foundry, don't forget that we have a whole community outside of YouTube. We do a lot of stuff on a lot of different sites, but the best place to start is with our official Discord server. It's open to everyone, and it's probably one of the nicer art communities on the internet. It really feels like a big family of creatives.
Cool.
I hope we'll see you there. The reason I'm thinking about all of this is because of a series of books I've been reading. A very big series of books. Then again, all of Brandon Sanderson's books are big, which is why I tend to stay a safe distance from them. This one is called The Stormlight Archive, and of all the interesting things it does, and there are many, I was most captivated by the way these books treat promises. The world of Stormlight is one of ideals. Here, mental concepts exist on another plane of reality in the form of living, thinking beings called spren. They're usually separate from the physical world, but under the right conditions, they manifest as mostly harmless, sprite-like shadows of their true selves, each drawn to their source. Battlefields are swarmed by the orange, rake-fingered hands of pain spren reaching towards the wounds of the injured. Lovers are dusted with tiny flakes of crystalline snow, the worldly shape of the passion spren seeming to fall from nowhere at all. The wind or the fire or the rain might be full of elemental spren, a ribbon of light dancing on the breeze, insectile shapes playing among the coals, tiny gray figures weeping in the puddles. And people can draw out spren too. When you become close enough to an ideal or a concept, when you spend enough time pursuing something like justice or liberation, the spren associated with it might just notice you, and if it does, there's a chance it finds its way to you and binds itself to you. So you sort of acquire a cool magical familiar who gives you the ability to do some vague, magic-y things. Very nice, but the real magic, the truly fantastical stuff, flight, teleportation, transformation, destruction, these can only be unlocked through a promise. Make a true oath to your ideal, the very thing which your spren embodies, and your spren will become more real than ever. You'll become its anchor in the physical world, and far from a mindless manifestation, it will cross over entirely, intact and sentient, and able to give you access to its full suite of fabulous, reality-bending powers. So, that's a lot, but the key thing that I find so interesting about this is that it isn't a bargain. You're not selling your soul to the devil, you're not striking up a contract with a creature of the Fae, and yeah, those are really interesting topics, and we will make videos about those kind of promises for sure, but I love the altruism of this. You're just making a promise, and really expecting nothing in return. And almost karmically, the magic responds to that, elevates it. Your promises literally change reality in this world. And here's the fun part. This is not actually a new idea. Humans have been trying to do this with promises for ages. If you look back at the Greek origin of formal oath-taking as a practice, you can see it. Oaths weren't just commitments you made to other people. They were more powerful than that because you would invoke a supernatural arbiter, that is, a god of some kind, to enforce your promise. The words, "as God is my witness," become a sort of binding magic. Now, should you break that promise, instead of simply hurting someone else's trust or their feelings, you're calling down the judgment of something divine. But promises are complex, and there are a lot of other ways I can imagine mystifying them in our fiction. How might magic work differently for a promise broken or a promise kept? How might it affect the one making the promise? And would that be different from how it would affect the one receiving it? There's a lot of room for the imagination to play here, but let me show you some of the things people have come up with so far. In the case of a promise kept, magic usually becomes a sort of karmic reward. With no pressure from the outside, you've done the right moral thing. Now the universe will reward you for it. The Stormlight Archive really plays with this well, spren drawing to you purely based on your devotion to your ideal. That's how you get all your cool high fantasy magic. But this doesn't have to be about unlocking cool, spectacular powers. Sometimes it's simpler than that. In Game of Thrones, there is a massive wall of ice that separates the civilized world from the dangers of the frozen north. A special group of guardsmen called the Night's Watch man the wall and sound out an alert if anything dangerous is threatening to breach it. These sworn guardsmen have dedicated their lives to their duty, and they're the only ones who can really pass through the wall. Because far beneath it, there is a secret door made of living, ancient wood. It has a wrinkled face and blind white eyes, but it will nevertheless know when you're approaching, and it will ask who you are. If you've sworn your vows as a man of the Night's Watch, you can repeat them to the door, and it will determine whether you speak the truth. If you do, it will open its mouth wide and allow you through. Sometimes the commitment itself is
Okay.
the source of the magic.
Alright, catch you later, Vibidelmon.
Paths may open, allies may be won, all manner of magics may be worked, if you only honor your word. Usually the magic is really only there for the one keeping the promise. Like I said, it tends to be a reward for their apparent morality. Plus, it would seem weird for the person who received the promise to also get some kind of magical boon. Isn't it enough that someone kept their promise to you? Don't you already benefit? It sort of just seems like double prizes at that point.
Look at how close I am. Damn it. How would I even... Let me just try and rearrange this for a second.
But I can think of a few situations where this would actually make a lot of sense, specifically in the case of gods. I mean, devotion is a sort of promise when you think about it, right? And the magic really just flows from there. My two favorite examples of this are the books American Gods by Neil Gaiman and Small Gods by Terry Pratchett. The story
Yeah, I've heard good things about American Gods. That's the one that's got a TV show now, right?
of American Gods is full of withered, anemic deities slowly dying because very few people in the New World believe in them anymore. They scrabble at the leftover scraps of devotion, sustaining themselves through cons, cunning, and coercion. There's a goddess of love who lures men back to her home and persuades them to become her willing sacrifices in the bedroom, and that's devotion enough for her. There are two gods of death who work in a morgue, where people entrust their dead to them. Again, devotion enough, but just barely. The book Small Gods is a little different from that, but not by much. It follows a once great deity who finds himself at the brink of annihilation. Why? Because no one truly believes in him anymore. They believe in the institutions that sprung up around him, they believe in the motives that they invoke his name for, but not him. In this fragile state, he can only physically manifest in the form of a lowly tortoise. Luckily, there is one person left who, despite the fact that his god is now a tortoise, stays true. And that promise, that true devotion, is enough to help this deity scrabble back into his former glory, with some caveats about how people worship him. Stories with gods in them really are one of the few areas of fiction I can think of where being the recipient of a kept promise causes anything magical at all. But I can see room for other approaches here. Like maybe a situation where some kind of Rumpelstiltskin-esque figure extracts magical power just from getting people to make promises to it. Not from brokering a good deal and stealing someone's baby or whatever, just getting the promise from someone, period.
No.
There's power in that, and I would love to read some stories where it was elevated to the level of magic. But, of course, a promise made is not always a promise kept. And there are all sorts of stories about the magical consequences of breaking a promise. The same way magic can be earned through honoring your commitments, it can also be lost by breaking them.
Okay, we're getting
In the world
closer.
of the Stormlight Archive, this is a pretty traumatic process. I was describing earlier how, through the presence of Spren and your relationship with them, your promises can give you power, how committing fully to an idea and honoring that commitment results in true magic. By the same token, a broken oath will cause that power to weaken or vanish altogether. You might go from a life of flying about as you please, healing yourself without any need for medicine, to a lowly life on the ground. The magic will leave you once again, and after living with it for so long, how do you return to normalcy? It would be a painful transition, to say the least. All of that makes sense. It's immoral to break a promise, so we can feel pretty good about dishing out consequences to the promise breaker, right? But it doesn't have to be like that, does it? I can imagine some circumstances where a promise made with the best of intentions turns out to be a bad thing for you, where the actual powerful thing to do would be, for your own sake, to admit that you need to go back on your word. I can see good reason to want to wrap a hard decision like this in some kind of magic. I can also see it as a sign that you are beyond empathy and compassion, which, while pretty dark, is also a source of power, in a sense. I could only really find one good example of a magic system where it's beneficial to you to break your promise, and that's the Oathbreaker Paladin subclass from Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. These are paladins, warriors who have sworn oaths to their gods and received some power in return as long as they adhere to those oaths. But now they've decided to break their divine promises, and instead of just losing their powers outright like a vacuum, they're inverted. Now, instead of scaring the undead away with divine light, an Oathbreaker Paladin can seize control of them. Instead of channeling the divinity of their god into tangible energy, they can channel their own dark malice into something much crueler. So, although a broken promise feels like it deserves a punishment, there is also a sort of subversive power in the willingness to do it, regardless of the harm it might cause. But all of that says nothing about the poor recipient, who we should probably talk about as well, right? You make a promise to someone and then break it. What happens to them? Their trust is damaged, their expectations and hopes are shattered. Not a very pleasant experience. That's enough to go through on its own, so we don't tend to pile magical ramifications on too. It wouldn't seem fair, would it? Well, there are a few examples that point to the contrary. I mentioned how in the world of the Stormlight Archive, when you break your oaths, you lose your powers? Well, that's only half of it. The reason you lose your powers is because your spren, the physical incarnation of your ideal, the otherworldly companion who chose you and granted you your new magical life, is dying. They require you to adhere to your ideal. That's what anchors them in the physical world. And if you break that promise once they're here, they become less real. They fade into catatonic, lifeless forms known as Deadeyes. It's certainly one of the saddest things in the story, very much the feeling of watching a loved one suffer because of a choice you made. There's another really interesting example of this dynamic in Jim Butcher's book series, The Dresden Files. It's an urban fantasy setting where some attempt at formalizing magic has been made. There's a council of wizards who presides over magic users by and large, making sure none of them misuse their craft. A mage who goes astray and begins using black magic.
I hope none of my sighing is taken as like, I'm not enjoying the video, because I am.
Magic is typically put to a swift death unless a member of this council speaks up on their behalf. If they...
Yeah, it's just the, it's just the game. It's just me trying to get through the rest of the game.
Fantasy setting where some attempt at formalizing magic has been made. There's a council of wizards who presides over magic users by and large, making sure none of them misuse their craft. A mage who goes astray and begins using black magic is typically put to a swift death, unless a member of this council speaks up on their behalf. If they want to give the offending mage a second chance, they take that mage's fate upon themselves. Now, if their charge missteps again, both of them will be put to death instead of just the offending mage. It's a promise made on someone else's behalf, and you suffer the consequences alongside them if they break it. They call this arrangement the Doom of Damocles. Both of these examples really feel so tragic to me. If you care about a person, one of the worst consequences of breaking a promise to them is watching the ways in which it hurts them. And we can imagine stories where that pain becomes a magical force which physically harms them as well. The dying of the spren, the Doom of Damocles. I can imagine the opposite of this as well, although I haven't really found any examples of it. It's easy to believe that benevolent magical forces might rally to the aid of someone who's had a promise broken to them. Maybe a lover has proven disloyal to you, and a goddess of love sees it and takes it upon themselves to punish the one who's hurt you. Maybe you are an orphan whose parents broke their promise to care for you, and the fey creatures who live in the nearby forest decide to give you the good life you missed out on, showering you with their riches and their adoration. Promises matter. And like all things that matter, it's a joy to see how and when they manifest in our fiction, the ways in which our fantasies raise them up. This was something that really struck me about the Stormlight Archive. Promises are so important in that world, they literally make the abstract real. And this is how we feel about promises in reality too. They are to us untapped potential, and someone willing to fulfill it. We showed you a few of the ways we've seen this explored in fantasy, but there are so many other possibilities. I'd love to hear what other ideas you can come up with in the comments. Of course, it's not always that easy, is it? We talk about making stuff up on this show like it's just a thing everyone does super effortlessly. But then, really, how do you just build a world? It's a whole skill set,
This is a
something we
sponsor.
sort of have to learn
Skillshare?
to do.
Skillshare?
And that can be really daunting.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I found something that makes this whole process incredibly simple. There's this
Skillshare.
amazing 12-part video series that gives you pretty much all the
Yep,
skills
looks
you
like
need to
Skillshare.
get past your blocks
Skills.
and fears and start your world-building project. It's called Creating Unique and Powerful Worlds, hosted by many-time author and professor Lincoln Michael.
Hosted
As
by...
you move through the course, you'll learn about things like how to
Skillshare.
begin your new world,
Just
what
say
the ripple
Skillshare.
effects of that starting idea will be
Say-
on
say the word
across your
Skillshare.
world, how to create themes within your world, how to create
Just look, it's cooler if I'm proven right because you say the words Skillshare. Where's the part where you show the logo? I don't... There we go. It's Skillshare. I called it. I don't know if I have any more videos to watch, to be honest. There's another... Yeah, sure, there's another, or there's one that's like D&D related, about becoming a good, like, dungeon master and stuff, about plot hooks in TTRPGs. Maybe specifically D&D? We'll find out.
Evening Dungeon Masters, I'm Baron Durop. What if I told you that just by knowing the geography of a fantasy map, you could know where nations would likely form, what long-standing political issues would be perennial?
I would love to have this skill, to just have, like, the historical knowledge to just build, like, a nation or a collection of nations' histories just from glancing at a map. Or, you know, just from the geography, knowing where towns are going to spring. I mean, you know, water's like a big factor when it comes to where towns form, but, yeah, please explain away, in the 11 minutes this video goes for, Mr. Dungeon Master speaker person. Take it away.
And how those issues are ripe for quest hooks. Today we'll dissect some of the basics of geopolitics so you can quickly develop plots, stories, and even entire histories inspired by the landmasses in a fantasy world map.
Alright, but just the basics, because I don't... I don't... This sounds boring. Not gonna lie. Only a little bit though. Oh, well, no, it's interesting in the, I'm tricking myself into being interested in geopolitics by, wanting to DM, wanting to be a dungeon master, so, yeah.
The most important aspect to understand when analyzing geopolitics is to understand that while geopolitics discusses how geography influences culture and society,
This is looking promising, by the
social
way.
science is really an exploration
The cats, the puzzle.
of how cultures gain access to energy. And
Okay.
there is no source of energy more important or influential to human development than a river.
Yeah.
Rivers
water.
check a lot of boxes when it comes to being the bedrock of civilization. Firstly,
Water wheels
a
and stuff.
flowing water system provides drinking water for the people who live
Yep.
on its shores.
Very important.
Additionally, the river is home to game fish, which can be
Oh, yeah.
caught and consumed for their caloric and protein benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But even more importantly, the flowing energy of a river allows for technology like ditch irrigation or water mills to come into use. These technologies offer a distinct advantage to cultures who have that water flow energy access. The human labor saved by using a river's energy can be redistributed toward trade specialization like masonry, carpentry, or leatherworking. As river communities grow and coalesce and are specifically able to do so because of that trade specialization, the river system further becomes a highway of transportation between these river-based communities. Because it's far cheaper to float goods and services on water than it is to haul those same things over land, the river becomes a primary method of doing trade and exchanging cultural ideas. As a result, agricultural metropolitan identities almost always coalesce around a river system. It's these identities which lay the groundwork to become the true bedrock of civilization. A look back across time shows us examples like the Indus, Egyptian, Sumerian, or even Yellow River civilizations as some ancient examples, but today the United States of America is probably the
Wait,
poster
really?
child of this phenomenon. This nation exploits the entirety of the Mississippi River system as both the heart of its international trade, connecting Chicago and Green Bay with St. Louis, Memphis, and New Orleans, but also as a source of water for the most productive agriculture agricultural landmass on the planet. To iterate, this river-based social and commercial exchange usually causes a singular cultural identity to develop around that river. There are only a handful of places on the globe where this doesn't happen, usually due to the river's size or because of other influencing geography. For example, the Danube or the Nile both cut through immense mountain ranges where cultural divides are evident. What's more is that the river system is still likely the most important aspect of modern civilization, despite our modern era having access to fossil fuels, overland highways, and the internet. We still need fresh drinking water. River barges are extremely efficient at moving bulk goods, and rivers and their respective aquifers are the biggest determining factor for where agriculture can be done. So, what happens when a society grows and develops technology beyond basic agriculture? Trade specialization enables a population to experiment with other nearby natural resources to make tools and equipment. These invented tools or processes further kick that trade specialization into ever higher gear. In Stone Age society, for example, almost everyone had to focus their labor on agriculture to survive, but once bronze was invented, somewhere close to 5% of human labor was reallocated to the manufacturing of metal tools, as well as writing and legal developments to protect social interests like trade or welfare, things that were enabled by the existence of bronze tools. Various trade deals existed across Central Asia to support the proliferation of copper, tin, and bismuth, the required ingredients to make bronze. Therefore, civilizations which had access to rivers and were near mountain chains laden with these ores became economic superpowers. When the pressure from climate change caused famine, disease, and alien invaders in Central Asia, the entire trade system broke down, leading to the Bronze Age collapse. Society didn't start to rebuild to its former glory until a new style of metalworking using iron spread through the region. As a result, iron became the new hot commodity and re-enabled trade specialization. Fast forward to modern day, and more esoteric raw materials and their uses further accelerates trade specialization away from agriculture. Access to metal or metalloid ores like iron, copper, silicone, and lithium, especially if it's near a large waterway, continue to be a direct contributor to a population's economic success. This industrial development is further expanded if the region also has some reserves of fossil fuels, or more recently, clear skies and consistent wind patterns. For example, Chile exploded onto the geopolitical scene once the nation's shoreline was identified as one massive pile of petrified animal dung. This fossilized fertilizer was easily shipped to Europe and led to a boom in worldwide nutrition. Despite those ancient dung reserves being mostly depleted at this point, Chile still remains extremely important geopolitically due to the sheer bulk of metal ores mined from its sea-proximal cliff faces. Disrupting trade with Chile would likely lead to a worldwide shortage of copper and other heavy metals. So in our mundane, non-magical world, a population's access to river, metal ores, and fossil fuels are the biggest bedrocks of trade specialization.
Okay, one more time. Say it one more time. That sounded like an important summary of what we've just been listening to for 6 minutes.
Metals. So in our mundane, non-magical world, a population's access to river, metal ores, and fossil fuels are
rivers, metal, fossil fuels
are the biggest bedrocks of trade specialization.
Yeah.
But what about a fantasy setting? These things will still likely hold true, but instead of desert nomads becoming temporarily rich off of petroleum, it will likely be wizards who build towers near ley line intersections, magic mushroom forests, or even mana crystal mines. Basically, whatever unique and rare resource that can be exhumed, processed, and used for energy production or trade specialization by a magical fantasy society is on the table for geopolitical importance. Imagine a river system near loamy soil that cuts through a mountain chain rich with iron ore. If it's discovered that one particular cliff edge near a town on that river is a magical hotspot, a powerful wizard would quickly build a tower there and do everything they can to control the politics of the nearby town for their own interests and security. If that river system also provides easy access to a large ocean, the aforementioned town will likely become an economic superpower. Their economic advantage is just too impactful for it to not look out for their own recurring interests worldwide. Now, with all of that discussed, we have to ask the question, where are the quest hooks? Remember, a nation, to serve its own interests and be self-sufficient, needs access to fresh water, important commodities like iron, timber, and Vespin gas, and geographical landforms which make defending those assets easy. These landforms include nearby oceans, deserts, swamps, or most importantly, mountains. In contrast, any civilization...
Yeah, I am winning. I passed a level or two while you were gone. I suppose that's winning. Currently watching a video about creating like a DM. It's explaining geopolitics, but in the context of making like a D&D world that makes sense. So in other words, the only context in which I will learn about geopolitics.
Which borders another and doesn't develop strong trade relationships with those neighbors will almost always come into conflict. This is why Eastern Europe's Three Seas initiative is so alarming to Russian politics.
You listen to this to go to sleep. Honestly, yeah, I can... That makes a lot of sense. Unlike this friggin' puzzle.
Interests. Currently, the most maintained roads in Eastern Europe only connect Eastern European industrial centers like Warsaw, Budapest, or Bucharest with Moscow. For the unfamiliar, the Three Seas initiative plans to develop highways, rail lines, and internet infrastructure.
So just one time on one night, this was a video that you listened to. This wasn't like your daily ritual where you always need to put on your fantasy map is already full of quest hooks by YouTube channel Dungeon Masterpiece with 52.6 thousand subscribers. This video has 59k views. How did we both stumble across it? Alright.
Doesn't develop strong trade relationships with those neighbors will almost always come into conflict. This is why Eastern Europe's Three Seas initiative is so alarming to Russian political interests. Currently, the most maintained roads in Eastern Europe only connect Eastern European industrial centers like Warsaw, Budapest, or Bucharest with...
There's 59k viewers are all me.
Moscow.
Very nice.
For the unfamiliar, the Three Seas initiative plans to develop highways, rail lines, and internet infrastructure that connects the nations between the Baltic, Adriatic, and Black Seas in a far more meaningful way. What might seem like just a road and highway project is actually a huge threat to Russian security interests. By physically tying all of these nations' economies together through trade, Eastern Europe will rapidly develop vested interests in each other's success and will more readily share cultural ideas across their borders. This kind of cultural exchange behavior, until the recent end of the Cold War, was only allowed to be done through Moscow. Where historically a Belarusian might have been negligent or even mistrusting of a Pole, this infrastructure plan will cause these cultural ideas, goods, and services to intermingle. That's exactly what Russia doesn't want, a strong and unified Eastern Europe. So when you study one of your own fantasy maps, ponder what resources are available near adjacent river systems. Do those resources create a trade complement, like timber in exchange for metal ore? If they do, it's likely that they will have a healthy trade relationship and remain at peace. A hot war would cause them to lose too much economically. If both civilizations are largely self-sufficient, however, these nations will likely antagonize each other. Each nation would always be looking for a way to one-up their foreign competition on the larger world stage and ensure their own security interests. Lastly, if one civilization is mostly self-sufficient while the other lacks
so
key
close.
resources, the population lacking these resources will likely be a hotbed of exploitation, rebellion, populism, and radicalism against the larger and more oppressive state. So think about what kind of asymmetric issues could arise from fantasy resources too, like a druidic culture in a forest filled with magic-enhancing mushrooms. Those druids would likely fight tooth and nail to maintain their forest and see the construction of a wizard's tower not just as a threat to druidic authority, but a sin of exploitation of the planet's nature itself. Thanks for watching, Dungeon Masters, and until next time, good night.
Damn it. I'm still really close.
Does my
No,
robot-
don't stop playing VTubers. Okay. Alright, that was interesting, I think. I was kind of focused on trying to get the cats to fit, but... Yeah, I mean, that's probably an easier way of, What inspired me to click on that VTuber playing real time? I mean, we can if you want to. I can show you some HoloLive stuff. But yeah, yeah, what made me want to click on the video in the first place was the promise that, like, oh, just by having very basic landmarks in your D&D world, you already have, you know, you can already make a pretty good guess as to, like, what nations will arise and what their, like, international relationships will be, and it'll give you a bunch of, like, quest hooks right off the bat. I probably wasn't listening during the quest hooks bit, but the rest of it was interesting. Okay, I mean, I don't really have anything else to play aside from VTuber stuff. There's one video about the 3DS version of Super Mario Maker. There's a video of someone unboxing the 3D printed prosthetic arm. Let's watch that, actually. I want to watch that.
Hey everybody, it's Abby again. And I'm here.
It feels weird to just be watching someone's vlog in the middle of my my stream. This is, like, not typical React content, but I don't know. I think that like prosthetic limbs are, like, really interesting and really, really cool. So screw it, we're watching it.
For something extremely special. I am here to unbox my 3D printed prosthetic arm from Unlimited tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. We're just watching someone unbox their new prosthetic arm because prosthetics are really cool.
On camera for this YouTube channel.
You know, just watching some random person's vlog on stream. That's not weird, is it?
Okay, so here's the box, obviously. This contains my 3D printed prosthetic, which has been in the works for over a year and a half-ish. Many
New arm just dropped.
of you know about it, been following the story. I have a live stream that I'm about to do on TikTok, so people can watch it live. But
wait. You can live stream on TikTok? I didn't know that. I sounded so betrayed when I said that, as if I want to be streaming on TikTok. No, I don't want to be. I just can't believe I didn't know that.
doing here on YouTube as well. Let's do it. Let's open this thing.
Hell yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Unboxing content.
Can you believe I've had this for 2 weeks almost and I haven't opened it? I swear to you that the tape is still there. I haven't opened it, but I was out of town when it came and then I had to go on another trip last weekend and I've been working. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, sounds rough.
We got 163 people watching. It's pretty insane. I hope unlimited.
So this was live streamed and then cut up into highlights. Okay, so if we're watching stream highlights, then it's a little less weird than doing that. Yeah, I guess I should have figured that TikTok would have live streaming. I mean, Facebook has live streaming, Instagram has live streaming, which is apparently very like prominent. Like people watch Instagram lives all the time, apparently. But yeah, I've just never heard someone tuning into a TikTok live, so this was news to me. But then again, I don't know many people who watch TikTok, so.
Tomorrow is here as well. All right, cool. So here we go. I've got a scissors.
Wait. Where's she from? What was that? Scissors. Everything else sounded American.
3 people watching. It's pretty insane. I hope unlimited tomorrow is here as well. All right, cool. So here we go. I've got a scissors. I just can't believe I'm doing it right now. There's almost 200 people here now.
What was that? What was that? Scissors? Oh well.
Here we go.
Maybe her boyfriend is from Australia or New Zealand or England. I don't know. And that's where she gets the scissors from.
You know.
Or she's just making fun of him because apparently he's in the room.
2 pieces of tape. All right, cool. This is neat. Okay, first of all, I'll flip this around and show you what this says. This, I don't know if I can fit it all, but it says, Unlimited tomorrow's mission is to deliver prosthetics globally to enhance the quality of lives of amputees. And that is what they're doing, for sure. All right, here it is. Really well done on just all the stuff. Whoa, you just got a true limb. That's what these things are called. That's what these prosthetics by them are called. They call them true limb. Like I said, Bluetooth connect.
All the other manufacturers are just making fake limbs. Only this manufacturer was brave enough to go a step beyond and create the true limb.
To the computer, I think is how it goes, and you train movements, and you train it for obviously completely custom to how my arm works. The user guide, cool. Movable thumb. So what's in the box is arm with attached socket, charger with cable, Bluetooth, USB dongle. By the way, we did about...
Your arm is decked out. I've never thought about the fact that you have to charge a prosthetic. You have to charge your arm. I've seen a lot of like very mechanical, like people doing like DIY. Oh, I need to find that at some point. If we finish this video and we still haven't passed this level, then I'll try to find the guy I found. Oh, I think it was on Twitter actually. Might be hard to find on YouTube. But I'll try to find the guy who just like makes and like welds his own prosthetics, because that's insane.
6 or 7 fittings, shipping back and forth between their offices or their headquarters in New York and here. The socket in here is obviously not a universal socket. Some of you have seen the videos of the fitting process. Foam.
Okay.
Another piece of foam.
Jeez.
Slowly.
I thought she just said foam, but she said foam. Was that another incident of like access? Someone who programmed his prosthetic eye? That is the coolest shit. With a flashlight or something. That's so cool. Honestly, this is way better content than what I was watching before.
In the videos of the fitting process. Foam.
Okay.
Yeah, that was... What is going on?
Jeez.
What is going on with her accent? Is she Canadian? I don't know.
Slowly.
Oh my god.
This has been 2 years in the making. Woo! Look at this. Okay, that's that USB or the Bluetooth thing for my computer.
Wow, look at that bad boy.
Woo-wee.
Wow.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Whoa! They pull this thing out. More foam. See, I'm driving him crazy.
Okay. Who's doing this?
Wow.
No, seriously.
Whoa.
Look at this.
Dude, look at the fingers on that thing. Holy crap.
You can paint those nails.
No,
No, seriously, they're paintable nails.
wow.
Oh, wow.
That's so crazy.
Whoa. This is the LED indicator.
Look at the comparison.
Yeah, look,
This
that's
thing
the,
is like
it's like a club.
This is a straight weapon.
And like it doesn't fit and it warps
This
over
is
time.
like
It's hard to
super
clean.
intricate.
Yeah.
She wouldn't do
I
that.
would only just.
She can also punch people.
All right.
Okay,
all right,
gotta
thank you.
go.
Good job. That was nice. Just wanted to make sure that people for the YouTube video see how incredible this thing is. Oh man, this is so cool. How it would feel to actually be holding it. I gotta hold on. I'm like kind of taken aback right now because it just like I wish you could feel it. That'd be so cool if you guys could just it's so different than I expected. I didn't even know what I expected, to be honest. I've never had anything like this. So I do know how to put this on. What am I doing here? I think. Let's see. Okay, let me release the boa dial so it's loose. Okay. Woo! This feels good. Whoever's in here from Unlimited tomorrow, hopefully, letting you know this feels good. Okay, I'm gonna turn it on. All right, here's the power button. I want everybody to see this. This is for my future YouTube viewers, and then for you all, of course, watching live. All right, so press and hold. Pressing and holding.
Oh, that reaction.
Cool. I can't even I did not know it was gonna do that.
That's one way to describe suddenly having like motion in a limb that you can't really feel there, but you know. I mean, I know this isn't like the first time she's used a prosthetic or anything, but yeah, it sounds like the experience she just had was a strange one.
I think, well, they told me it was, but you guys can't understand how like shocking this is to my brain right now. Maybe you can, based on the face I just made.
Wait, right? She has used prosthetics before, right? Because she brought out her own. I wasn't looking at the screen at the time, but they were talking about an old prosthetic, or I assume it was an old prosthetic. Yeah.
Okay, it's blinking. What are you doing?
Rate it.
All right.
Rate the arm 1 to 10. I need to know. I'm looking to buy a new arm. I'm in the market. Let me know if it's any good.
Okay, single button push will trigger a grip, and holding the button down will change the grip. Dude. It's like in fist mode right now. Okay. And you release it by doing the same. Let's try to grab something. I'm holding a box. Oh my god! This is so cool! Look! This is so freaking
she's so
cool.
happy.
You guys, do you understand something? I have never experienced the sensation of having fingers that move like that on this side of my body.
Wait, never? Okay, so she hasn't used a prosthetic before. This is a new experience. Holy crap. I'm so glad we got to witness that.
Just give me a second to take it all in.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm literally in awe right now. I did not, I knew this was gonna be awesome. I just didn't expect to feel like that. Like, so, I don't even know. Man. Okay, sorry, I had to take a second. That hit me really hard. It's really secure, guys. Look, woo! This is not like I just barely got a grip, like I'm holding it with like one of those like grabbers that you pick up trash with. It's like, this is really for real. Okay, I'm just holding this box. You guys, like, I'm 32 years old, and it's just, I just need a second, you know what I mean? Like, I've just lived all my life without, like, seeing my body do this. It's not my body, but it is its extension. Again, unlimited tomorrow. God, you guys are awesome.
Your whole life. So this isn't even like a limb that you lost. This is... Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna let it go. Ah, that's so cool. Okay, let's try to pick up this water bottle that I brought to this table. Ha! Dude, this is amazing. Like it's a little loose. I'd have to be careful, but like I'm holding it. Okay, I wonder if like, okay, so these are the nuance, the I guess the finer movements will have to be trained, obviously. I'll have to just train myself, get used to the feeling of all of it. But like, so they, I guess in other words, learn how to get a more, a better grip, a more coverage, tighter, whatever grip. Obviously this is just the out of the box stuff. But I wonder if I can just, right. Yeah, I'll have to do a tighter grip, but look. I just got this open. I'm not gonna try to take a drink of the water, so don't even ask because I'll spill it. But I've never done that in my life, what I just did. I've never done that. Like, where I held a bottle open like that to, like with fingers, proper fingers to open it like that. I either have to like hold it real gently under my arm and like not try to squeeze it, like burst it open after, or I open it with my teeth usually. Wow, that's really cool. I'm gonna let that go. Take a sip. Cheers. Well, you always have to push the button to get a grip. No. I think the only thing I'd have to manually do is like change the position of the thumb sometimes, depending on what I'm doing and what I want these fingers to do. But so like I said, I have to train this with my computer via the Bluetooth connection, train movements and stuff, but the sensors are in here, back in the socket, inside of the socket in the back and the front. And so my brain, I can tell my arm, obviously it's how you move your body in general, to do certain movements, I guess, within the socket.
She's explaining how to, like, move her arm as if it's a novel concept. And I mean, she has an arm that she moves all the time, but you're just kind of trying to describe how surreal the experience is. She ends up just describing basic human motor functions.
Socket, and after having trained them, it will move my fingers accordingly. Yeah,
So
he's dead.
close.
Well, that's okay. Gonna charge it. We saw, I think the coolest thing was just that first grip, that first pickup of that box. Just everything. I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking of some cool things to do with it. Hey, questions. I know I missed a lot of comments. Anybody have any questions for me? I would love to. That was awesome. That was awesome. I obviously was looking back and forth between this camera and the live stream camera over there. There were almost 400 people watching at one point. Shoot, I can't even describe to you that sensation. Like,
Okay, I need to free up.
I first put it on, it was like, that felt cool, but when that thing moved and gripped and held that stuff, that was special. So, I'm really excited I got to share this with you, faithful Ab Show followers, subscribers here on YouTube. Some of you have been with me the longest. Thank you, of course, Unlimited Tomorrow. Everybody check out unlimitedtomorrow.com on all the social channels. I'll link them below, obviously. Thank you to my patrons.
Yeah,
It's been
I've never heard of this person. This video came up in my recommended ages ago, and I just threw it into my watch later, being like, that looks cool, and then proceeded to never watch it later. But now I've watched it, so that's cool. Let's look for more like prosthetic stuff. DIY prosthetic arm. Prosthetic hand. There was a guy I'm seeing all these like really sleek, cool looking ones. There's one that I saw that really looked DIY, that looked really like cyberpunk. There's a video here that how to make a mechanical arm at home out of cardboard? What is this Nintendo Labo bullshit? What? Okay, so you need a hand in order to do it, but... This is cool. What the heck? Good to know your first thought was exactly the same as mine, for Fiddleman. So this would be awesome for like, if you were to cosplay like a Big Mac or something. Just any robot. And you wanted the limbs to extend beyond your own. I'm not entirely sure why we have ASMR, sounds in the background, of like nail hitting, hammering sounds in the background. Oh, I'm so close. I think I just need to like... Oh, what's this music? Rats, we are the rats. I don't even know what the deal with that meme is, I just hear it all the time. If someone could explain what the, like, rats, we are the rats, is. Oh yeah, that's right, it's like a birthday thing, isn't it? Because it then goes, it's your birthday this year. I don't know. It's your birthday this year, yeah. The sentence that's applicable to everybody unless you're born on February 29th. Hold on. Okay, now that I've brought it up, I need to find it. This video isn't doing it for me anyway. Rats, we're the rats. I've never seen the original. There's an animation of it? Oh, it's a Germa thing, I think. It's a Germa raid. It's a Germa... What? Okay, there's a VTuber clip, because this needs to be a VTuber clip. Oh no, hold on, sorry. At one point, it goes to Nyanas. But, no, this is Germa and a bunch of other people. But there's context in the description, that's why I clicked on this. For those of you confused about all this, here's the explanation. A couple months ago, Germa started doing this thing where he would make up a song anytime he got a raid from another streamer. Germa's chat eventually turned this around, and now anytime Germa raids someone, his chat will ask the streamer he's raiding to sing the raid song. Wait, would make up a song anytime he got a raid. Oh, okay. So anytime Germa got raided, he would say, he would make up a song about how he got raided. And so when Germa raids other people, then Germa's chat would be like, where's the raid song? Give us a raid song. The raid song is not a real song. Chat just wants to see what each streamer will come up with. Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes chat just makes Germa look bad. AAEEOO and Audio Jungle are also things people type in chat when a raid is going on, which is a reference to Germa's Game Awards stream where he made noises and said Audio Jungle repeatedly while the band was playing a song so he wouldn't get DMCA'd on Twitch. Okay, let me see. Let me click on this Germa stream clip. I think it's a Germa stream clip. Hello, can I do picture in picture, please? I want to be able to show. I want to show this on stream. Why isn't it coming up? Can I not broadcast this on stream? Is it the wrong aspect ratio? What? Hold on. Let me do the animation then. It's not coming up. Hold on. What have I done? Have I screwed something up? I just made the Cats Organized Neatly window slightly smaller. Whoops. Did I screw up the entire... No, okay. Because other things, when you resize the windows, then it completely... The Rat movie. Hold on. Germa... The Rat movie. Okay, there's a... Okay. There's a VOD of... This is from 8 years ago? Alright, so it's a Germa in-joke.
We're rats. We're the rats. We pray at night. We stalk at night. We're the rats. I'm the giant rat that makes all of the rules. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into.
So sue me for being thorough. I want to know that you...
What is this game that he's playing? I'm assuming this is a game and not, like, some weird meta thing. I haven't heard Germa talking over this yet. This isn't some elaborate, like... Germa makes, like, an Oscar award-winning movie on stream, right? I don't know.
You know what the plan is. Look,
Like, this isn't Germa doing the voices, is it?
seriously, mate. How many artifacts do we need to steal before you trust me with these jobs?
Well, I just want to make sure you know what's happening. We're gonna get the treasure, we're gonna get out of there, and we also have to... And we must get it. That's the most important thing, so be on your A game. We go now.
That laugh must have been Germa, right?
the car today because it's my birthday.
No, don't let him get in the car. Please, don't let him...
Come on, it's my birthday.
He's driving, whatever.
Bloody hell. Oi, more importantly, since when did we have a rat problem?
We don't. Get in.
What the hell is this? Is this like... This is an experience. This is just something Germa made, isn't it? I heard the rat song and was like... the top comment of this video. I heard the rat song and was like, I need to know the context of this. What the fuck? There is no context. He is doing the voices. I think. One of the comments says, Jeremy is not only supremely attractive, he's also an amazing voice actor. My young daughter absolutely loves the Rat song and sings it every day when she's having a and when she's having a tantrum, singing it to her is the one magic trick that calms her down. Thank you for your service. Context, this video was created with 3D Movie Maker, and Germa probably thought it was funny. That's literally all you need to know. The fact that this literally came out of nowhere on this channel, nothing was leading up to it, no other videos using this program, nothing is what terrifies me the most. Part of me feels like Germa and Star underscore were captured and forced to make this video. Yeah, I figured there was another voice actor involved. The fact that a 5-minute video... This has an IMDb score that's higher than Joker? I am rapidly falling down a rabbit hole that I am not ready to fall down at this moment. I just need a video for stream. Where's the bit where's the rat song?
What's that on? Get us a fuck. Edited by myself. Day officer. And I'm here to take the...
Hold on, let me look it up one more time. Rats, where the rats?
Rats. We're rats. We're the rats. We pray at night.
This isn't what I was thinking of though. Why is there...
I went through so much trouble to get you this Rats mixtape. I know how much you like it. Can we just dance together as a family for once?
That's enough of that. 17 seconds is too much. The top comment. It's pinned. J-pop, often stylized as J-pop, an abbreviation for Germa pop, is a musical genre that entered the musical mainstream of the Germa 985 cinematic universe in early 2021. Yet another wonderful addition to Ratcore. This is such a rabbit hole. Is this what I'm looking for? This also isn't what I'm looking for. Where's the thing I'm looking for? Birthday rats. This is what I'm looking for. Hold on, this is it. I can't do picture in picture. Is it because it's too short? I don't think that's been a problem for me before. Maybe because it's technically part of YouTube Shorts or something. Can you hear the audio on this? Yes, you can, because I just have it on desktop audio.
Rats. We are the rats.
So I'll just play the audio of this. Wait, original. This is because I'm playing an animation. Where's the original? Oh, it's from Rat Movie 2, of course. Of course. I checked Rat Movie 1. I didn't check Rat Movie 2. Okay. Well, let's play this excerpt.
Rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another one of birthday batch. Michael, it's your birthday today. Cake and ice cream is on its way. And Michael, you're such a good boy this year. Open up your gifts while we all cheer.
And hold on, it missed the most important part where it breaks out into that exact piece of stock music that we heard before. Somebody in the comments has to have a timestamp to this, right? I'm scrolling through the comments. It's 35 seconds into the video.
Rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another one of birthday batch. Michael, it's your birthday today. Cake and ice cream is on its way. And Michael, you're such a good boy this year. Open up your gifts while we all cheer. This year I got something new and exciting and different for everybody.
You hear it in the background?
Hey kids, it's the clown. Whoa, easy. Please, what the hell is happening?
Okay, so... Alright, we don't need the rest of the it quickly flies off the rails, but that is all I wanted to watch at that moment. I need to fill up my water real quick. So I'm just gonna play I wonder if we could find the stock music that the Rats thing is from. Hold on. Rats birthday birthday song 10 hours.
Rats, rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another one of birthday bash. Michael, it's your birthday today. Take the ice cream, the dawn is wet. And Michael, bring it on board this year. Over the kids, while we all cheer. Rats, rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another one of birthday bash. Michael, it's your birthday today. Take the ice cream, the dawn is wet. And Michael, bring it on board this year. Over the kids, while we all cheer. Michael, bring it on board this year. Over the kids, while we all cheer. Rats, rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another one of birthday bash. Michael, it's your birthday today. Take the ice cream, the dawn is wet. And Michael, bring it on board this year. Over the kids, while we all cheer. Michael, bring it on board this year. Over the kids, while we all cheer. Rats, rats, we are the rats. 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 Celebrate another one of birthday bash. Rats, rats, we are.
Alright, wait, 1 second, 1 second. It sounds like... hold on. Okay, it's good. So I was worried for a second that the audio was doubled this entire time. But it would seem that's not the case. Let me just grab... that and put that in. And then remove that. Sorry, just doing some OBS stuff. Okay. Back to cats. Cats. We are the cats. I'm on the final 2 levels. Hold on. We should get some, like, dramatic music. So not my stream music playlist. I'm gonna get my video game music to jam to playlist. And just start playing some of that. I'm also gonna turn the meowing back on. Now that I'm not now that I'm not sharing videos right now. Now that I'm not doing that anymore. Okay. Wait, no, sorry. I'm gonna play music. Hold on. Why did I turn the music back on? Music off. Just sound effects. And then let's play something dramatic. Or at least something with energy to it. Is this... that's way too loud, isn't it? It's way too loud on my end. Hold on. Is that still too loud, or is that good? I require input. Hold on. I just switched to a separate window so I could hear so I could open the stream thing and hear myself, and I couldn't hear much of anything. Hold on. Wait, I'm gonna just keep talking while I play this music, talking, and we'll see if it's any good. Talking, and we'll see if it's any Okay, that sounds fine. I could have just believed you when you said good, but no. Alright, God, you'd think that having like weird, obtuse shapes would actually make it like easier to figure out what goes where in this, but it doesn't. Okay, that's not possible. My brain is broken. How do I... I said it myself, I can't end the stream. Also, the other messed up thing is that my sister wants to borrow the microphone that I'm using to record the stream. And I said, yeah, it shouldn't be long. But unfortunately that relies on how good I am at the video game. So... for the sake of my sister, I need to finish this up as quickly as possible. Yeah, the music isn't helping either. I mean, I put the music on, but... I'm just saying. I'm not singing in tune with the music at all. Do you fit there? You do fit there. That's nice. Although I feel like, yeah, I have done this exact same setup before and it hasn't worked. So, God damn it. Okay. No, it's never gonna work. No, it's not. No. Now I'm just back to square one, aren't I? Or do I now have an extra one? No, I'm back to square one. What happens if I flip this? God, this really does... this music really does put the pressure on. But this is the final boss of this game. God, how do I... No, I can't do that. Okay, that's looking good so far. But where do I fit this now? Not like that. Like that, maybe? Then you can fit that there. Ah, there's one tile left over. That would have to go there, that would have to go there. No. No, can't quite do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. There's nowhere I can put that in that situation. This is hard. It's almost like it's the second to last level of the game. Oh wait, that works! No. No. False alarm, I'm afraid. God, not the Bade music. Nothing puts the pressure on like this particular tune. Ah, God. I'm resetting it. Alright, let's try putting this one here. This one that honestly just gets in the way more than anything. I would now have to put this... Oh, I could put this here. This here. I'm so close. Why is this in here? Alright, I'll just let it play. This is from Paper Mario, the Origami King, I believe. Yes! And it is my victory music! I mean, I still have one level left to go, so don't get too excited. But I didn't think, because there's only like 3 different pieces that can fit in here, but I thought it couldn't possibly be this one because, yeah, okay, one last level. Oh, this doesn't look fun. This doesn't look fun at all. It's always what you least expect. It's never... Hold on. Let me just try. Hold on. Where's this gonna fit? So this has to fit like here or here? Alright, let's give this a try. See how it all works out. Oh, but now there's no room for this, though. Now there's room for this cat, and nothing else. This is gonna be difficult. Oh, wait a second, if I rotate this like that, and that like that, it accomplishes some things, maybe. God damn it. Okay. There's only going to be like one possible solution to this puzzle, isn't there? That's how these later levels must work. I'm so close. Wait! I've got it! Holy crap! That's the game done! Oh my god! And that's it. No fanfare, nothing. that was all. Yeah, that final level took me way quicker than the others. It was just like some specific like combinations and stuff didn't work out. But yeah, that took me a lot longer overall than I hoped it would. But wow. That was a long stream, right? How long was that? Like 3 hours? Yep, 3 hours, 18 minutes currently. Oh, I wasn't going to stream this today at first. I was gonna just stream Arcade Spirits instead. You know, alternate between this and Arcade Spirits to get sort of a rhythm going. Even though I only have like 2 more Arcade Spirit streams to go before I should have the game done. But, like, last night? Was it? Maybe last night, maybe yesterday, maybe the day before, I don't know. I had completed Chapter 7. And I was like, well, I've only got 1 more chapter to go now. So I might as well, like, you know, it's alright if I play some of this game off stream, but I want the, I want my victory to happen on screen. And I feel like I got very little reward for that versus the amount of effort I put in. But I did get an achievement. Do I now have 100% of the achievements? Let's see if I'm missing an achievement. Achievements. I have 1 locked. Let Wincy Cat meow 10 times in a row. What? Who is Mincy Cat? Oh, there's a dark mode. I didn't know that. Wait, that might mess up my stream settings. Okay, probably messed up the screen for a sec. Where's Wincy Cat? Is that a cat on the menu? Is that 10 times in a row? Is that... I'm pretty sure that's not one of the cats we unlocked throughout the thing, right? The achievement has an illustration of a cat with like a W on its chest. 29% of all players have this achievement. Let it meow 10 times in a row, but meow is in quotation marks. So there's a cat somewhere. Is there a cat in one of these levels? That just doesn't sound like a cat. Did I disable the cat sound when I wasn't supposed to? Hold on, I'm so confused. Did I disable the sound of this game at one point, not realizing that there was a cat that made a unique sound? One cat in the whole game that makes a sound different from the others? Hold on. Let me look again at global achievement stats. So 29% means it couldn't be past chapter 5, and it's probably not in chapter 5 either, because the number that... Oh, maybe it isn't chapter 5. Okay, I'm going to search chapter 5. See if we find Wincy Cat, or if it's somewhere else. If it's nowhere in this... in these levels, I can't... So I can't just skip to the next level. I have to go to the menu every time. That's annoying. Where's Wincy Cat? Or is it just... I bet it's just something in a menu somewhere. Thanks, Mitchell. I don't believe in myself, but we will find this cat one way or another, even if I need to Google what the hell is the Wincy Cat. Which I might have to do. I think I just clicked on that level earlier. I don't think it's a cat. I don't think it's part of one of the levels. I don't think it's a puzzle. Because otherwise I would have realized that one of the cats looks different and wasn't explained. Maybe? Then again, I probably wouldn't have noticed that. Is this it? This is not it. But it looks kind of similar to that. Cheat? Okay, but only because you insisted. I mean, I wasn't going to. I was going to have total integrity. I wouldn't dream of cheating, but since you told me to, okay. Cats organized neatly. And I legitimately don't know what else to do at this point. What's Wincy Cat? Quincy Opera. Okay. Sorry, is it Quincy Cat? I think the achievement is called... It's called Wincy Opera. Yeah, so it's a Wincy Cat, not a Quincy Cat. Why are people Googling Quincy Cat? Maybe it was called Quincy until it wasn't. Hold on, let me look up Wincy Cat. Okay, so there's a guide, achievements guide. And it also levels and achievements guide. Okay, so it just shows me I have to scroll past every single level in the game. I have to scroll past to tell me everything. Okay. If you haven't seen my grade at level 16, there's achievements level 16 and many other levels past this. I have not seen a single cat with a W. Since which one's Wincy Cat? Okay, so level 16 is where it's introduced. This cat right here. I swear this cat just disappears later into the game. And we got the achievement. Okay, we're done. Pack it up here. We did it. We've got the I mean, there's no platinum trophies on Steam, but it's the equivalent. Cool, so we got all the achievements very organically. I just happened to click on the Wincy Cat 10 times, knowing that it looked suspicious. And nobody here is going to testify otherwise. Okay? Okay, yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave now because my sister wants my mic. So yeah. Thank you for joining me in the epic finale for thank you so much, Mitchell. Alright, with that I'm gonna wrap up the stream. Thank you for joining this epic finale. And yeah. I don't know how to end my streams. So I'm just gonna say goodbye, and then when I say goodbye, I'm gonna end the stream. Okay, ready? Not yet. I gotta... Goodbye! Wait, I shouldn't be playing that music. I should be playing something calming. Where's the... I closed the playlist that I had before. Screw it, you can listen to the... Stream music. Here, listen to this. Goodbye.